What is up, guys? It's D Tencho here, and we're back for a special episode of the Due to the Deep podcast. I got some long term friends here with me who are going to be discussing a very, very interesting and super popular piece of media you might know as. So, yeah, today I have Juan, Went, and Candid Clown, who will be going by Clown throughout the rest of this episode. I'll give those guys a chance to introduce themselves. But we're going to be discussing seasons one and two. So if you're not caught up, there will be some mild spoilers for the first two seasons. But I decided since season three is still relatively new, we're not going to really discuss that until everyone has a chance to kind of sit with it and learn. Um, so we got a couple of speaking points here, and for the most part, we're gonna hop right in. So I'm gonna have these guys introduce themselves while I get this stuff out of your way and do some streaming magic. So whoever wants to start first, you're more than welcome to get going.
Yo, it's Went, otherwise known as Went Flint.
This is Cooley, otherwise known as Juan.
Yes, hello. This is Candid Clown. Just call me Clown.
Sounds good. So I think as an icebreaker, I'd like to give everybody a chance to kind of open up with how they found out about Invincible. I'll start it off first. I'm friends with all of you, so it'll be a little bit easier for me to kind of round robin this off. So I'll pass the baton proverbially. Invincible, I had not really known anything about it. I had seen the design for Omni Man on the internet when the comic first came out a couple of years back. But I was just like, oh, cool, like a little Kryptonian, non Kryptonian, you know? But
Hmm.
I actually got introduced to the idea of watching the series because I haven't read the books, but I got into watching the series from Went, actually. He suggested it to me after seeing the first season, and he was super fervent that it would be something I enjoyed. Shouts out to you because I absolutely do enjoy it. Uh,
No problem.
so, yeah, that was right after the pandemic, I think, when the first season dropped, like late 2021, early 2022. We can.
Might have been right before. I'm not too sure though.
Mm, okay. So yeah, for the past couple of years, I've been learning little bits and pieces more, and I've really enjoyed the first episode, which we'll get into as we keep going. But Juan, why don't you pick up the baton? How'd you find out about
Yeah,
Invincible?
very easy. It's the meme, the think Mark think.
Oh, yep. Yep.
That was when I
Swatting
saw
over
that, I
it.
was like, you know what I mean? Because it's just you hear J. Jonah Jameson just like
Right.
scolding some dude that he like fucking like crushed his skull in, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I definitely have to understand how this came to be. And so
Mm,
yeah, it was as easy as that.
very powerful. Who's next?
Okay, I'll
Uh,
go.
Clown, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go. I was into it way before any of you fuckers are into it. Okay, way back when it came out. I was on the fucking first page, fucking staring at him while he was drawing. No.
Mm.
While
The
it
I
aired,
progenitor, bro.
I was there when
straight
it aired.
that's creeping. No, but no, I read a little bit. I think the first volume was on my in my school library, and I opened it up and I was immediately drawn into the art style. Like I've been a long time comic guy, and it kind of like the coloring and the scheming of the costumes. It just was really easy to digest as a long time comic book reader. Like you know exactly what people were about based on their design. And so
Mm.
it was just, small brain high school me was like, "Oh, cool. I can get really into this." And then, life happened and I completely forgot about it until I also got into the meme. Um and I'm like, "Oh, shit. He is dummy thick." Yeah, I'm still getting into it.
Hey yo, have you on a tangent? Have you seen him in Mortal Kombat? He got it still.
Right?
Bro's built different.
Saying he's the thick thigh king.
Mhm.
With three, yeah, thick with two Ks.
Right.
Exactly.
Got the lats on him.
That's a real Viltrumer way to conquer planets right there.
Well, yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, so like I saw I heard about the show. Like I thought it was gonna be live action at first, so I lost any interest. But then I saw like, oh, cool, this is gonna be animated. This is like the design of these characters, the coloring. This is actually gonna translate pretty well into animation. So I saw a few clips on YouTube, and I'm like, okay, bet I'm gonna watch this shit. And I did, and I fucking loved it. It did a very very good job translating it. Like very very good job. It translated very well into animation.
And why don't you round us out?
Yeah, it's kind of pretty simple for me as well, except no meme. My dad, who is very into movies, nerd stuff, all like this, kind of brought me into this world growing up with movies, nerd stuff, whatever you name it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he always recommends stuff for me. He's, oh yeah, just watch this show. Just watch the first episode and tell me what you think. And we'll get into that later. But yeah, that's pretty much how it started, and I've just been honestly obsessed ever since. I've been reading the comics slowly but surely ever since I finished season 3, and I'm just craving more.
Powerful. So your dad is into like comics and stuff like that?
Yeah, big comic nerd, big movie nerd. He's met like Spike Lee. He's met
Oh, cool.
Roger and Ebert. He's been to like different film conventions and stuff. He's just like a huge fan of the whole uh, that side of media.
Mm.
So just learning from him, I found my taste naturally, and he's still into. We're still into the same stuff, but he recommended this to me because I don't really focus on Prime like that.
Mm.
And honestly, he introduced me to The Boys as well, which is also a Prime show that
Which
kind
I
of
do
I feel like
intend
put
on
Prime on the
watching.
map. Yeah, I
So
mean yeah, we'll get into that when you watch it, but yeah, I don't want to compare right now, but let's just say Invincible was better. You know what I'm saying? But,
fair enough, fair enough.
yeah.
Okay, so after covering that first segment, I do want to kind of take a break from the itinerary, as it were, and ask a specific question because before I brought you guys on, I was doing a little bit of a review and I wanted to cut a bit of a promo video where at the end of season 1, light spoilers for the finale of season 1 for anybody. Give yourself a moment. If you don't want to hear, I'll have a timestamp for you to skip forward. When Nolan explains his the true Viltrumite history, I think that monologue where he really talks about the actual legacy of Viltrum was peak like superhero comic book kind of like exposition because it's like, I told you, yeah, we be helping out the poor folk and whatnot, but to turn it into like, actually we killed everybody who sucked and now we kill everybody who sucks across the entire galaxy. It was like such an immense draw for me, and I
Mm.
wanted to kind of get you guys' sort of over the series as much as you know, like one of those moments that may not be your favorite or like the best, but one that always sticks out to you.
For me, it's the fight with Mark and like Machine Head and all those like all his like villain goons and battle beasts like popping up out of nowhere
Mm-hmm.
and beating him damn near to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like
Vicious.
obviously first episode, but I don't want to take any more moments.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But yeah, for me, that's one that sticks out for sure.
Or are we on season 1? Or are we? Can I talk
Uh,
about season?
for as much as you've seen of the series, try and keep away from season 3 if you've seen it.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
the whole
Yeah, season
series.
2 kind of blends with season 3 a lot, so I'm kind of trying to refrain from talking too much about season two.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I mean, for me, like Angstrom, I think he's like a really interesting
Mm.
character.
Yes.
Yeah,
And that fight scene was really interesting because it really starts getting to that critical element of this show, which is like questioning what does it mean to be a superhero? What does it mean to have absolute morals?
right,
Right?
Mm.
There's so much there's so much discussion and kind of like meta dialogue that's going on in this show about these these people that have these like supernatural abilities and what does it mean to stick to a moral code, right? Because like yeah, and we'll talk more about that later, but like Viltrumites, they are sticking to their moral code, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
right.
like they're as Superman would be if Superman just
Was Darwinian?
Yes.
yes, right.
Fair.
Yeah, the whole yeah,
So
exactly.
like they're very absolute. They're very black and white. And so like the thing I really like about the fight with Angstrom is how much it muddies up for for Invincible the how gray it can be, you know?
Right. Now he has
So
to
that's the
balance
one for
with
me.
all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
To piggyback off of that one, I go straight to my favorite moment of season one. I fucking love Damien Darkblood. He is such
Oh
a
Yes,
fun
yeah.
dude.
and interesting character. We talk about
He's
these
slept
moral,
on.
yeah, we talk about these moral grays. We talk about black and white, and I mean, like I said, spoilers for season one. You
Mm,
have this creature which is, for all intents and purposes, should be the physical embodiment of evil, literally a demon from hell. And his life's purpose is to bring justice to the world, to
Mm.
investigate, to uncover evil, not just fight it, to bring it to light, right? And we see that being placed here as he's used to investigate the murder of the Guardians of the Globe.
Yeah.
Because he's actually has to chop. He's been doing this for a long freaking time,
right.
Mm-hmm.
and using a demon to uncover evil when basically Superman threw his hands and killed the League, right? And using
Hmm.
that to uncover his evil, it was just poetry for me. I really enjoyed his depiction in the TV series more than the comic for me. Um,
I was gonna ask you about that.
yeah, it's been a little while because I read finished the comics back when season one and haven't reread them, but overall, they did a better job in like showing how confident he was. In the comics, he was a bit more of a joke character, but in the TV series, they show him as this very inquisitive, very thorough, unyielding
Yeah.
investigator. No gray there. He's there to do good
Yeah,
and
he's
bring
gonna make
justice.
it happen.
Exactly, and and my favorite point of this whole thing was his exorcism. In the end,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
because because
Cecil's a son of a bitch, man.
Cecil
oh
is
yeah,
a
because
guy, dude.
He's a son of a bitch. That's what the fuck he is. He
oh,
ain't just a guy, bro. He's look, he got we'll get into that too. But I was gonna say, I, I was gonna ask you about the comic. I might kind of pick your brain a lot throughout the pod just because you're like the resident, quote unquote expert on like the comics and stuff.
oh God,
Um,
is that my
no,
role here? I thought I
the
was here to make
the
Nick
well, I
the
mean,
fuck.
aficionado is better than the
outside of
expert.
all four,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? No,
yeah.
but
Oh,
mainly I just think that's a testament to Robert Kirkman and like how like you involving the creator of the original content. He's like basically gone back on stuff he probably wanted to do more of. Like he probably wanted to do all this dark blood stuff. Like I'm pretty sure learning from like YouTube videos, not even from you per se, but like he definitely expanded on the dark blood character like a lot. Um,
It's
even
sort
Oh
on.
of the
yeah.
same. I think, not to cut you off. It's sort of the same
No,
with
you're
a
good.
lot of anime, where the manga, especially because I'm a huge fan of Bleach, as all of you know, seeing the original work, we were enamored and in loved as manga readers. But to see it like fleshed out and given certain extra, like maybe side characters who you personally love, but the story didn't really love, getting to see them get a full body, if that makes sense, if the analogy is carrying, seeing them get a full body is really important, and it is like it releases those endorphins of like, oh, this little guy who was so peculiar and nice actually has depth, in a storyline and values that we get to see now with the fully animated version.
Mhm.
Right.
Hmm.
No, I agree.
Yeah, so seeing characters where I thought I love the concept of being better explored in the animation for sure was very much my favorite part. I liked about season one. Just that whole
Yeah, I'm a little sad because I feel like I really did. I like Damien Darkblood as well.
Mhm.
I don't know if he's coming back. I'd love it if he comes back. Um, he is a very interesting character. I definitely agree with you there, uh, Clown.
Okay, so we've gone on sort of a generality of favorite scenes, and I'd like to sharpen that a little bit for this next segment, where it'll be your favorite character from season one or two. And it can be for your own personal reasons, which I hope that you're willing to explore with us. Or it could just be like, I like their design. I like the music that came along with them, because the music for Invincible, I'm a big music head, so a lot of my favorites in general from the show comes alongside a track, like um
Mm.
even when it comes to like the Mahler twins, like
Yeah.
the Mahler brothers,
Yeah, they're
I
dope.
like their
Mhm.
soundtrack so much because it gives like that old Three Stooges kind of like hip hop, but like slapstick feeling.
It's
So
definitely like demented hip hop sound.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think especially you. So we're gonna start with you, Clown.
Oh. Oh.
I
Well,
know
here we go
you.
again.
Yeah, you know a decent bit about the character. So who's your favorite character from the first couple of chapters slash first two seasons of Invincible?
Oh man, I went really hard with the Dark Blood, but you know what I mean. I have to say that Mr. Ferguson, I'm not on first name, basis, but Mr. Ferguson
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
was like I'm a sucker for reliable number twos,
Mm.
and seeing him, I'm trying to think. I'm making sure I'm not doing any spoilers or skips. I think
He
this is no
looks like
skips.
Bobby Hill. I get it. I know why you love him.
Well, if you're
Uh,
speaking of a certain possible reveal, that starts in season two.
okay,
So
cool.
you're
Then
not, yeah, you're not.
okay, making sure. I would say that seeing his commitment that went
Mhm,
past what he thought he was even capable of. Something about that really spoke to me. Um, when it came to the duty, I've never like served at all on my end, but I'm the second oldest of four siblings, and um, something about like being in charge of something, being someone's keeper. I really liked the way Ferguson uh, conducted himself.
mm,
He wasn't just a hard ass like his boss Cecil was. There was an empathy to what he did. And I think his I don't know if you've ever heard the term silk versus steel. It's kind of like an Eastern comparison. You use steel, you want to be firm. You use silk when you want to use softness for
Mm.
something, but just to get the job done. And I feel like
mm.
he was an excellent counter to Cecil's endless hardness and firmness. Donald
Yeah.
was, you saw him as this pudgy, kind of softer guy, but followed his orders and did his stuff. But he was a badass, and he did it
Oh
without
yeah.
being excessively, um, how do I say? I don't want to say he's just an asshole. Because Cecil, yeah, is an asshole with
Yeah.
purpose. But he,
Yeah.
he he did it in
Most
a very
certainly.
compassionate way, and his story arc and how it was explored in the animated series, they did a very good job with it. I would say. Like
Okay.
I was
So
very very impressed with Cecil, and Ferguson's like relationship. I don't say Donald. I think it is usually referred to as just Donald in the show.
yeah.
Yeah, Donald and Cecil's relationship was that brotherhood, about watching over, keeping over him, um, was something that I just really appreciated. So that
Okay.
I really enjoyed their interactions.
We
It's
got
like
one
probably my
for
favorite
Donald.
character if I'm not doing Dark Blood.
And Dark Blood can be your honorable mention if you want to slide, for the rest of you, if you want to slide a little, like, love child, passion project, favorite character. I'm all right with hearing a little bit of those, deeper takes. Uh, let's have Wink go.
Okay. As far as favorite character of season one or two, or two, I would probably say it's probably cliche, but we'll go with Mark. I think what he goes through on the daily, pretty much, not to mention uh, the whole reveal at the end of the season of season one is just completely heartbreaking. You just feel for the guy, and it's also just like just the concept in general of this show, and I won't go too deep into this, but just the concept of like basically Superman and his son, right? But like, the whole flip of what happens at the end of the season, like the whole Belgium Empire thing, and it's like also speaking to what y'all were talking about, like absolute
Oh yeah.
Morality.
law and like just
Mm-hmm.
yeah, absolute law and morality and like how you live, and it's just like just a conflict of like him having to fight his father who raised him and essentially built up that moral compass for him, or at least he thought.
Mhm.
Then it's just to be shattered in like that. It's kind of how do you even move on from that? And then to move on from that and to become even stronger, he's just an inspiring character. And he's more of a realistic, like superhero character to me, not just because of the gore, not just because of the violence, but because of the trauma and like the realness of pretty much every character, but especially Mark.
Yeah, no, he definitely had like
Oh,
it's like kind of like the most fucked up like
Yeah.
Spider-Man moment you could have, right? Where like Uncle
yeah.
Ben dies, you have to yeah, like Uncle Ben almost kills you. Like that's basically
It's like if
just
Uncle
think
Ben
about
was
that.
Venom. It's like if Uncle
Yeah.
Ben
Yeah,
was Venom, bro. Like
right, exactly.
Try to two chocolates at once, okay? Not just one. That's two
right.
candles.
That
Bang.
Double whammy.
their interaction really is summarized as a season end, which is something that I was actually doing, taking some notes on earlier.
Mhm,
Was the initial first day of training after Mark tried to fly, when he
mhm.
punches him, he goes, "Oh, Dad, why'd you do that?" Like, because he punched him out. He's like,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna hold their punches, and I think that maybe is what you were speaking towards when it comes to the idea of like an authentic superhero experience is like those moments of learning
Mm,
don't really get shown all that much because it's like even with Batman and Robin, who is like the canonical go to for like man and child superhero team, you don't get to see the raw part of it. You get to see because Batman's a rather callous guy, and Nolan is too. But
mhm.
I think they provided a extra layer because it is a biological child, and it's like something that child doesn't, and it's not general knowledge. Like Batman knows these aren't your what it oh I got a good one. Helen Parr when they were on the island in The Incredibles, and she tells them, "These aren't the guys from your Saturday morning cartoons. They'll fucking kill you." you know, I think
Hmm.
that is something that Invincible as a series really gets to kind of nail and send home over and over with the stakes, even going into season three. You know,
And even the other side of that, of like how he can hurt someone else. Like when he
mm,
saved that old lady and like he broke all her damn bones because he like
yeah,
smashed against stuff. And it's just stuff like that. It's like, whoa. Like I never thought about that type of thing ever. Like when you think about like invulnerable characters, you always think like, oh, because they're invulnerable, you know what I mean? Like people they're holding are gonna be fine. But
Mm.
it's really it was like especially at that moment, he was probably scared because it's kind of unclear if he like was too strong and broke her, or him bouncing around with her and his body itself broke her. Maybe a sense of both, but
Yeah, I mean, he was
just
probably,
some
yeah, he was
stuff like
definitely
that.
hopped up. Yeah, he was definitely like hopped up on adrenaline, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And just that, yeah, like thank you for mentioning that because I didn't even really think about that. Because I remember him feeling really torn up about her, like eventually, they say like they couldn't save her.
Right,
So like that just adds on top of that, right? Like that's probably a big reason why he felt so bad about that is because he felt like he was the reason now that she
right.
died, even though he tried to save her. And then like the way that that Omni Man just is like, oh yeah, that's just part of the job. Like it's when you thinking about that in like retrospect, you think about that as like part of like, is that Omni Man like saying that because he's had so much experience around death that
Right.
he is like insensitive, or
And
is that
desensitized, yeah.
or is that his Viltrumite side where he's like, well, yeah, that person didn't matter.
Hmm.
that's
It's kind of
excellent.
interesting.
Holy,
It is fun to think about. Cause think about it. He's been a soldier for millennium. Like they have
Right,
extraordinarily long lifespans. So I mean, overall, just even if he cared for that life, it's part of the job. There's losses, right? So if you ever talk to someone who served for a long time, like their comfort with death is something that can jar you, And to piggyback off of Winton earlier with that moment with this with his son and seeing that back and forth and that growth and that shockness. I don't know. It's tough, and I think they did a very good job, like juggling him just trying to be a father versus going with his Viltrumite ideals. That balancing act back and forth.
that
and I
is.
almost
Oh, I can't wait for my
oh,
turn. I'm not gonna say anything.
sorry. I was just gonna say, I almost find it interesting now how like um the Viltrumite DNA essentially overshadows any DNA or whatever, right?
Hmm.
And it's kind of interesting how that's exactly what happened with having a human child or being on Earth. Like that essentially was that for his life.
Can
Like
you elaborate a bit for me?
so essentially him having a kid warped everything, like overshadowed his Viltrum instinct towards
Mm,
the
right. It
like
kind of
it
endeared him toward humanity.
yeah, the same way Viltrumite DNA can overshadow others' DNA, human or otherwise,
Mm.
dominate
The
it, be the
humanity.
dominant, yeah, be the dominant gene,
Mm.
the humanity and Earth and having a child and all that became that for him. Like
Yeah. Okay.
for his whole, should he be this Viltrum dude or should he like y'all were speaking on like being a father, like and being a father, eventually I feel. will overshadow the whole Viltrum instinct of wanting to destroy everybody.
Uh, okay,
Essentially,
I get where you're coming from.
yeah, because he
Uh,
was ready to kill Mark. Like that's insane to me.
Mm.
He's
uh,
lived 1,000 years. To be honest, I didn't even know how long he's been alive, but I would assume old enough to have a little gray in his hair. So,
yeah.
um, but yeah, like that's
And this
insane.
is
He's gonna
another
kill Mark because he
tie-in
was
to that
a tape
monologue.
man.
Another tie-in to that monologue is he told Mark himself, he's like, bro, you're a Viltrumite. All of these people are gonna die. It'll be 1,000 years before you look 30. So you can assume that Nolan probably's got a couple of centuries under his belt if he's salt and peppered out looking like Reed Richards out here. You
He was
know.
gonna murder his child and move on to the next planet
Yeah.
because he put tape on his hands and was playing around. This man is
Yeah, I
was
mean,
crazy.
Yeah.
no, it's crazy, right? Like he literally like in that right, like right before he's about to leave, he's
Hmm.
like, yeah, it only took 17 years to raise you. That's like not that's like a blink of an eye to me.
Yeah,
That's a
You
chia
know,
pet lifespan right there. That's a chia
yeah.
pet.
right.
Okay, you just watered it on Friday. It's starting to sprout on Sunday. How committed are you to that chia pet? Okay, yeah, I know it's Shaggy with an afro. I don't give a fuck. Okay, you can start a whole new chia pet.
Mm.
I
we can
love
go
your
over
See,
to
mullet,
we
bro.
can go over
But
to Michael's right
it's
now,
just a
bro.
pet to me.
I mean,
Honestly, like
Bro
one
called
thing.
her. Bro, he called her a pet too.
No, he did. Yeah,
Oh,
he
Debbie,
literally did.
yeah.
I mean, just think. I don't know. Just think about how like messed up that is, right? It's like, yeah, she's my pet, who I fuck. It's like
Mm.
what?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Not even gonna hold you. That is crazy that he even said pet. More like a pet to me. Like, whoa, bro.
And I can no Juan. I'm sure you're starting to draw the context clues of who my favorite character is. But
Mm,
Juan,
mm.
Mm.
go ahead and
Yeah, no,
tell us your
I can
favorite.
go. So mine is actually like a departure from this. So, uh, Titan is actually my favorite character.
Yes.
Mm,
yes.
I
okay.
just I really I love his storyline. I love the character. Like to me, he is like the Batman of this world, actually, right? Like in the sense
Mm.
that he has his sense of vigilante justice. He knows how to manipulate those that are in positions of power to do what he wants, right? Like, because he's able to like take advantage of Machine Head's arrogance time and
Yep.
time again. He's able to convince Mark, which okay, at that time he's a kid, right? It's probably not that hard, but like, to go from like the
Superhero
underman, right? Like,
fantasy.
yeah, like to be like the like the ground soldier, like the dude that's like just watching everything go to shit because nobody cares, higher up than him, to
Mm.
being able to like turn that around in the course of like a couple days with the help of obviously with the help of like a half Viltrumite. So, but like to be able to like convince him to do that and to like see and paint the world as like the more complex situation that it usually is, right? Like I just really loved like his entire kind of character arc. Just
Mm.
watching him go from like doing these murders, doing these hits, coming home tired every day to his wife, to his kid who's sick. It's like, dude, I got to do this shit. Somebody has to take care of us,
Mm.
right?
Right.
And then to be able to like climb the like the criminal ladder in the way that he did, I mean, just kudos. Like I loved it. I loved every
Hell
second of
yeah.
it.
I know where
It's
your
I mean, because
family lives, and that means you work for
Oh
me
God.
until I say you're fucking done.
I know where your family lives.
He
and
did
that means you
not
work
take
for
that
me
lightly.
until I
That
say
no, he
that's
you're
one
did
of my
not.
fucking done.
favorite parts of the Titan Machine Head rivalry is because
Yeah.
it's like you can try and manipulate me. You can, I kind of got to do what you say. But you bring my baby, you bring my wife into it. It's like, bro, I'll do anything to stop you, you little
Mm-hmm.
freaky auto tune.
Tiny
So
kind of
yeah.
reminds me of Luke Cage mixed with Lex.
Oh, Lex
Mm.
Luthor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could
Mm.
definitely see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like definitely way more than another character that's like way more flushed out in the show versus the comic for sure. It,
Mm.
Mm.
it did a lot
Mm.
more. I'm double checking, but I'm almost yeah. Think he doesn't even have a wife and kid in the comic.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's so. But it's such a like core principle of why he does what he does in the show. It just another like creative thing they did, but it just worked out very very well. And not that I agree with all their creative directions, compared to the comic, but that's another one that just like absolutely just made sense in the context of the story. This is great. There's a reason why you go gray. You don't go like extreme makes you go, black or white, but gray you do out of necessity.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I'd give you a nickel for that one.
Because Nicholas crazy.
I tip a coin into your hat for that saying.
Can it be a quarter?
I could do a quarter.
Okay. Okay. Half dollar?
half
Okay.
dollar,
I'm
half
getting
dollar.
greedy. I'm getting greedy. I'm getting greedy.
No, you can raise the price a little bit.
Right.
Razor, keep it. No.
But yeah, I think um from my guess, the differing like opinions and outlooks on these characters is really enriching for me. Like I want to give you guys some good kudos because I believe everyone will have like there'll be Mark lovers, there'll be Titan lovers, there will be you know oh lord
Machine head
Machine
lovers.
Head lovers.
Oh, I mean, you know what? I could envision. Okay, yeah. What do you guys think a Machine Head Lover looks like? Like what are they into?
Definitely.
Uh, whatever that one game was where those two, was it Ironheart or something?
Yeah, the two baddies, the two metal baddies.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
hate I hate that I
The
Yes.
said
metal
what
twin
was it
baddies,
instead of
yeah.
exactly what it was. But yeah.
Yeah. I know exactly. Listen. I know
But
exactly what you're
yeah,
talking about.
that is what they're into.
Yeah, see, I think about like, Cyberpunk
Oh yeah,
2077.
yeah.
The I forget the name of it's like the gang that like is super into cybernetics.
Mm.
That like,
Oh
that they are like super ready to like forego any of their like organic parts just for
What
the
you
Mm.
next
mean?
upgrade.
It's almost like a
the
Leo
cyber
Battle Angel.
psychos
So
or
like they become cyber psychos very often, but it's actually like a gang.
Mm.
Let me look it up. Let me look it up.
mm.
Uh, that's such a common like a trope in a lot of like mediums. The idea of I believe it's called transhumanism. It's the
Oh
idea of
yeah.
taking. It's like idea of evolving and ascending yourself through
Mm.
physical means, usually through cybernetics or through like even DNA hijacking. It's this idea of just being a better version of yourself and by making it happen for you, manifesting that with the resources and technologies that are available to you.
Maelstrom.
Right, so
That's
like
The maelstrom, yep.
altered carbon and
Yep.
later on all
yep.
that stuff would be in there.
Yeah, no, and again, it's like it just reminds me of like Adam Smasher, who's like the big bad in that game, right? Where
Yeah.
like he literally looks down on people that have any remaining organic vestiges
You
in
little
their body.
fleshy
Mm.
fuck
Ew,
you.
is that the iPhone 8?
Yeah.
Little flesh
I,
bag,
I as in
meat
EYE,
sack,
right? The
Yeah.
Yeah.
iPhone.
meat bag.
You little
What did
fleshling.
HK-47 used to say? He was like meat bag or something.
Meat
Yeah,
bag.
meat bag. Yeah, that's exactly. He would
Yeah,
call him meat
Mm-hmm.
bag.
I'm so glad y'all know who that. Because explaining HK-47, I'll be like, well, it's a robot, but he's kind of an evil robot, but he's not evil if you do a certain choice. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Okay. That now that we've all kind of we've come full
Jesus.
circle.
Wait. No, you
Uh,
told me I got to have a side
oh yeah,
character.
yeah. Tell me.
Battle Beast.
Oh yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah. He's getting a
I don't
spinoff.
know. He just it's amazing to me because like he is
He's
so
such a freak.
arrogant.
Yeah.
He's so arrogant that you just I don't know, like whenever I watch him, I want to see him finally get his shit pushed in, but like never happens.
No, he's the
Oh
battle
my
beast,
god.
bro. He can be out
He's like
here.
Alexander from Elden Ring.
Oh
Oh.
yeah,
Mm.
the jar man.
Yeah.
Just
Kill me,
all
Yeah,
whatever the fuck
hubris,
he
and he
says.
can back it up, bro.
that's the thing. Yeah, because like even when he gets his shit pushed in, he'll actually be happy that that happened. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like
Right.
he's that kind of guy.
A
That
true
that's why.
warrior.
Yeah, he's just. It's always interesting when he shows on the screen. You know shit's gonna go
Absolutely.
down.
Could you imagine him rolling up to a furry convention? What would the carnage what would happen?
Bro,
He's gonna be
there
like,
would be
there's no strong
guts
ones here.
everywhere.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
strong
yeah.
ones here. Where are
Ugh.
the strong
All
ones?
kinds of smash. All kinds of smash.
every
Low-key be
every
mad. He
angle
won't
of
even.
Smash.
He'd like the time for fucking is later. I must find the strong ones. All of them. You are the weak ones.
Ugh.
But you're mere. Yeah, anyway.
The
Oh
battle
boy.
beast.
Yep.
That boy, he
The
deserves it.
rattle.
Did you just say? I think
The
I think my heart just skipped a beat when I heard.
That's what Battle Beast does to you, man. What can you say?
Yeah.
oh, that's a different kind of beast.
Also, you know what's interesting? Since we're bringing up Battle Beast, his idea of weakness and contest and being stronger and being the best, it really kind of lines up to the Viltrumite kind of identity. No?
Oh
You have
yeah.
another.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes, and
You have a,
He almost idolizes them. I feel like
it'll kind of be like the
not in the
Predator,
way of
where
like.
they look at the alien race from like Ridley
Oh,
Scott. You know, where they look at the aliens as the perfect test of
Mm.
their skill. I think that's how Battle Beast would look at Viltrumites. Like, if anything could make me bleed the good blood, it would be a Viltrumite.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, I can
right.
definitely
Like
the
they're
Predator.
AVP vibes. Yeah, the
Mm.
Yeah. Yep.
AVP.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like the opponent he'd probably want to fight the most.
The
Mhm.
unstoppable force and the immovable object.
That's probably like the only thing that actually arouses him. Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
like the
That's
idea
what I'm
of
saying.
fighting a
Like
Viltrumite. Yeah.
if you show up at a furry convention, ain't no damn Viltrumite, he's finna kill everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Heck, he won't. He might just leave. I don't even think
He'll
he'll
kill.
even.
He'll kill everybody with his limp dick.
Yeah.
just
Like,
turn
oh,
to the
you
left,
think that was
wipe the whole
strong?
convention floor.
Ugh.
Like they're great. And just fucking swing the shit against the fucking building. Breaks the whole fucking building. Whole convention center goes down. Okay. Anyway.
Mm.
Right. Talking. You said the word already. I'm not gonna repeat it, but I know I heard you say it, and that was representation. Thank you, fans of that, for being here with us. For my favorite character, like I said, there was probably some context clues, and I am probably one of 7 individual humans in the Western Hemisphere who would say this. Nolan is my favorite character in season 1 and 2. Omni-Man is my favorite character.
I
I
don't think that's crazy to say, but yeah.
Fair. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Especially within season 2. But go ahead.
Yeah. Season 1, season 2.
I think the mental track that they put Nolan on is very valuable, because I've heard even Clown say a couple of times that he attributes sort of the Viltrumite ideology to to humans of service, people of service, military.
Mm.
So I think it provides a certain level of separation from house, home, like home and state, or like work home balance. And it
Mm-hmm.
was so challenging for him because even in the brief uh, review I was doing, he was breaking his earthly character because he had assumed for such a long time that it's like, I'm gonna have to do this shit by myself. I don't have to really worry about shit. Whenever I fucking feel like it, I'll take them over, but there's no rush. But when Mark discovers that he has powers, he's like, there's no way I can't not take over now, because if they find out there's 1.5 Viltrumites and they're not subjugated, they'll kill us all. So there was a sort of underlying reason for his brutality that really showed up once Mark was able to fly. And I think that scene with him teaching him to punch and then like caving his fucking chest in was very important, because he's like standing over him. That first shot is him standing over him in Viltrum. Like if his thoughts and mannerisms were a language, it would be Viltrumite language. And then when he sees Mark, like, why'd you do that? He kneels down and he's like, I didn't mean to hit you that hard, but people aren't gonna not hit you hard. You know, he's just like, look, we're Viltrumites. I could knock your dumb ass out right now, and you better eat that shit and keep fighting. But it's also like a testament to his humanity and being baked and immersed and compassion and like the sort of value of growth. And I think that is one of the things that Viltrum doesn't really have. It's either you're strong or you're dead. There's no growing to be stronger. And I think that's a very powerful mentality to have to battle, because I don't think we've ever seen, in at least the first 2 seasons, any Viltrumite teens besides Nolan's children.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, obviously they're not gonna be just like, oh, you came out like Dragon Ball Z, where it's like, oh, your power level's fucking 3, get killed. But if you get your powers, which Mark got his late, he's like, I don't know. I really vibed with Nolan's ability to remain himself and adjust for the life that he made. The life that was given to him was get there and conquer. You find you a little shorty, you're like, I could conquer them anytime, but maybe we could go to Paris, or I could fuck her at the fucking Big Ben. I could fuck her on top of Big Ben or something. You feel me? Like, so being distractible, I think there are a lot of avenues of exploration for Nolan that I really got from the show that helped me kind of develop that attachment to him, because as far gone as he might be, as ingrained as his own heritage is, the will and instinct that he put into his child was still able to break through that and speak to him. Because he's like, after 500 years, what will you have? Man, I have you, Pop. Like, chill out on breaking my goddamn face open, And he bitched out. And I think that was a great character moment for a vicious
Definitely.
war, a conqueror to bitch out.
And a guy who only looked at, well, I think deluded himself into looking at his wife as a pet and his son as nothing, or a speck in his timeline.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
I do also believe that some of those things that he was saying was a coping mechanism to sort of, I gotta stay grounded. I gotta stay grounded. I can't love them. I can't fuck with them, as opposed to I don't,
Ain't break,
Hmm.
because
you
See,
they're
know?
weak.
the thing I think, that I think about is like, do you guys think that Mark is his first kid?
I was wondering that, and I think, honestly,
It
yeah.
seems like it, honestly.
I
I
don't
think
think
Earth just
he,
got the juice, bro.
because the
I think
Mm-hmm.
Debbie
way,
had the gussy.
at least in season,
The Earth Susie.
Earth
Earth Ken.
Missy is crazy. At the core,
Mm.
all to the earth. All to the earth means something different now. But yeah. Um
Fuck.
um yeah, you go ahead. I forgot.
the,
You
to
know, I.
piggy out.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no. I keep piggybacking off for everyone, but like that the idea of growth and yeah, you guys kind of like imagine how cringy is the other Virtual Knights. Like, listen, this guy's been around for around two millennium, like 2 millennium. Imagine
Mm.
you have a guy you known for like 15, 20 years. They go to one retreat and they just all about NFTs. That's basically what he seems like
Yeah,
for the
Yeah.
2 million years. I'm
He got
telling you, this is the
oh,
future.
that's valid.
sensationalized. He got fucking
Telling you, this will
sensationalized.
change the world. This will change the media landscape. This will change the economic
The
state of the
climate is
world.
changing, bro.
Has
It's
anyone ever
changing the
thought
fate of
about
the
the
universe.
economic state of the world? Who's that? Jaden Smith?
Yeah.
Oh
The
man.
dude's buck wild.
Nah, let's leave Jaden Smith out of this.
Oh, I love him. He's a great guy. He's a great
I'm
guy.
sort of a big fan of the guy.
Nah, that wasn't negative at all.
Oh,
He's still a
fair,
weirdo.
fair. Yeah, true.
That don't mean that's bad. He's just weird.
Kind of like us at the beginning of the pod talking about being long-term perverts.
Yeah,
Mm.
Fair.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
weird fun, and it's not bad.
Consent is sexy.
It's well-intentioned weirdness.
Mm.
My pocket pick for my like guilty pleasure favorite character.
Mm.
Everybody, get ready. Mark's best friend. I think his name is
Oh,
Will.
Mm.
Yeah,
yes.
Will's dope.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like him.
The real
Will
one.
is a good. Yeah, he's a real one, bro. I like Will.
He is. He
He
is.
be
Yeah.
treating Mark at every turn. I love best friends that don't just be like, oh, where are we going next? Or, oh, I'm a buffoon. I hate those kind of best friends.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Ned
Hmm.
from
Yeah, Genki.
Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I don't like best friends
Ugh.
like that. I
Yeah,
like best friends that be like, you're acting stupid because you actually are acting stupid. Like I like that.
Hmm.
And they don't get mad at them for it. It's just an honest conversation. But yeah, Will Stowe.
yeah. And Will's an excellent wingman, bro. Like when bro set
Oh,
Mark up,
hell yeah.
I was like, nah, if only, bro.
He
If
was
somebody was
Steve
so
Nash with it,
bold
bro.
to be like, this stupid ass guy isn't gonna tell you he wants to spend the rest of his life with you, I will.
He was Steve Nash with the assists, and Mark kept fumbling every time, bro.
Mm.
Mark
Let's
dropping the
go.
ball, it's going out of bounds. He tripping.
Monty
Diving
Python
for the
music in
ball.
the background.
Literally.
Speaking of taking him, it's interesting, and I don't believe in a comic adaptation he was gay. Um,
Oh,
so that was another creative choice on the animation, what they did
Mm.
compared to the comic, and it's interesting because I think that they did it very, very organically.
I agree.
mm,
Yeah.
It didn't define him. It was a trait that was part of him, and I felt like it's very very difficult for some reason for Hollywood to just write people who are part of the LGBTQ community as people from a community.
Mm. Yeah.
well, it's
And not
mainly because they
a
don't know
a
how to write
place.
anybody from any community. It's all about dollar
Mm.
signs and fucking broad strokes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like
Hmm.
kudos on them for taking that creativeness and being a little like brave to make that choice and go and
Mm.
more importantly not just doing that but actually following through
It
and doing a decent job.
landed. Yeah.
Yes, it landed, which was
Yeah.
which
Hmm.
was very like was good. It was actually, oh wow, this is great. This doesn't feel like Disney at all. This feels like organic. It feels like this
Yeah.
guy
Yeah.
Well,
I mean.
emotionally competent.
when you're not watching a Disney product, you know you're not watching a Disney product.
Mm. Mm.
Especially these days, everything's anyway. Different
The
podcast.
Mm. Yeah.
I mean, I do love that. Like, again, it's him being gay and then also him being Mark's best friend. How many times in any media have you seen where like a dude
Mm.
is best friends with a gay guy?
Yep.
Right.
Like it's always like the girl has the gay best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then that's a
And
whole
so
trope
yeah, so yeah,
stereotype
it
rather.
really it's fun. Yeah, like I definitely love the fact that like he's gay and like they don't hide from that. Like they don't just say, "Oh yeah, he's gay," and that's just like written on his like character card and then they just never do anything with it,
It's on
right?
his name tag.
Yeah.
I told you
No
Yeah.
gay.
relationship, no fuck, okay, yeah.
We need some representation. Get them in there. But I think that because of the way that they like deliver, especially the voice actor, I have to look it up. The voice actor for Will, he does a
Mm.
really good job of being like not a polar opposite to Mark, but so much more assured of himself and of Mark for
Mhm.
that matter, that it gives Mark a level of confidence that he can't avoid. There's certain
Hmm.
things that he doesn't have to jump through because it's not a plot device, but if somebody's like, no, you don't have to be a bitch about this, bro. Like you're not a bitch, bro. Like you're my friend, and I
And
think
he hasn't left any, sorry to cut you off, but
no
he hasn't
worries.
left him at any point in any of this wild shit that's been
Hmm.
happening. So
Yeah. I mean, if he
I
didn't
mean,
leave when Mark was reading Seance, dog, he's not gonna
Ah,
leave when he's
right.
got
that's
fucking
hilarious. They both like, don't
superpowers.
they both like Sam's dog? Oh no, no, they don't.
Will
Will
does.
no.
doesn't like it, right?
Will
Yeah,
does
It's
no, no,
not
Will.
fuck
He's
with
always like shitting on him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he makes fun of
Like
him
you
every
suck,
single
dude.
time. Yeah.
yeah,
you.
It's like you're a nerd. You
Read this
lame.
shit, bro.
right. But imagine that friendship still being so sincere, but despite them
Hmm.
hating on your hobbies, you're still like, yo, they got my back.
Yeah.
Right.
That's even more rare in most guy relationships, right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. There's always like a conflict, like later on.
Like you can't be doing this, man. You're scaring the hoes.
Yeah, I
This is
mean,
my wife.
You're scaring the hoes,
all your
man.
damn Viltrumite talk.
So
Oh my god.
I think for characters, we covered a wide variety, whether it's Donald, Battle Beast, freaking Angstrom Levy, Nolan, Mark, you know, I think for the most part we have identified some really strong characters. And most of the things that you guys said, I found like, I share that same opinion. We may start to divulge with this next question, though.
Ooh.
Ooh, spooky. Who's your
Cool.
least favorite? Who adds the least to the story? Who might you want omitted? I mean, like vitriol. I
Darkwing.
want
Wow.
I want to know like I want to know the character that you're like,
Quite
get the
simple. It's quite
fuck
easy.
out, shut the fuck up. Why are you
Darkwing.
here?
Darkwing 1 and Darkwing 2. I'm glad he died in the first episode. He's stupid. He's dumb. And a whole he's just there to be a Batman character and he's not even good at that for some reason. He has powers to go into the dark universe but don't is deathly afraid of it and doesn't know how to control it. L. Good night. Never see him again. The whole
That's
the
the
I
venom
won't
I
even
was looking
speak.
for.
I won't even speak because we're not talking about season three. But
Yeah.
fuck off
Yeah.
in
Okay.
every season, but especially that.
Fair enough.
In my
Darkwing is the
language.
super L.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say about it.
That's
Nah, I mean
exactly what
honorable
I was looking
mention.
for. I ain't gonna lie.
Honorable mention to get back to me. Actually, I'll
Mm-hmm.
think of it.
Okay, got you. Juan.
This is tough. I'm actually like looking through the cast right now and trying to figure out who I like absolutely hate.
I can
Mm.
go if you need a little more.
Cool.
Yeah, you go.
Okay,
Please
Yep.
go.
I know.
All right,
Honorable
so
mention.
characters I just didn't never cared for. I would say that Bulletproof was not
Mm,
is a
Mm.
character that like I'm trying to not mix them up in my head too much. Um, but I remember having an active disdain for him. I don't think he's done
Mm-hmm.
a ton in season 1 or 2 yet to be like worthy of my disdain, but like I'm going to say that I didn't really care for him, and
Mm-hmm.
I need to like get on my thoughts a bit more for why, but like oh boy, I'm trying to because in the animation he was pretty supportive. He was actually I want to make sure I'm not mixing my seasons here between 2 and 3. He was part of the Guardians for season 2, correct?
Yeah, he was a part of
Mhm.
the redone.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he was actually quite supportive, and I don't believe that was the case in the comics. I believe he was a little bit more of confrontational, a source of friction rather than
Standoffish.
yeah, is that standoffish? Perfect. So I don't like his character in the
Mm.
comic, but I think he's okay in the animation so far. But I'm fucking ready. I'm ready to hate this mother. I'm ready. I'm fucking ready. I'm ready. I'm foaming at the mouth.
Now, I
Okay.
will say this before I give my character. I feel you on Bulletproof because I had to, when I had the idea for this episode, I asked my brother, I was like, who's this guy? You know him. He's in the Guardians.
You love him.
You know,
Do,
I'm
do
like,
we? Do we
who
You
know?
know him.
who is
You
this
love him.
guy? And
Mr.
my brother was like,
Incredible.
oh, you're talking about Bulletproof. I say, how'd you know? He was like, because you talk about him like that. I was like,
Because he sucks.
so I vibe with you on the Bulletproof. Not, I think he hasn't paid rent yet. I think that's Bulletproof's problem for me.
I think he's
Mm.
also still in cable. Okay. Like I don't know. He's not, he's he's up to some shit. Okay. He's in your mail. When you get
Yeah,
home, like what are you doing? You're on the other side. You're your side entrance. What are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. Something to deliver my mail here.
yeah,
Okay. I don't know. I just
He's
have some.
also,
Hmm,
sorry.
go ahead.
mm,
Oh, I was gonna say he's also barely in the show.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like even when
Mm.
he's there, he's like what they like. He's almost like a replacement for Rex, but he's not because he's not likable. Like he
Mm.
mm,
does the same thing Rex does. Like every time you see him, he's like talking like crap and kind of like shitting on whatever they're doing. Like and he's kind of like lazy and stuff. But he's
mm,
not likable like Rex is. Rex is the least likable, and you see more of him to realize. You know what I mean? Like he's that Han Solo character. He's got a heart of gold, but he's kind of a piece of shit. Like I
yeah,
don't get that from Bulletproof. I just get that he's a piece of shit.
He's like Rex is like a fuck boy, right?
yeah,
Right.
Well, Bulletproof for me it just gives off. I don't know. Just I don't know.
No,
He
you know
gives.
what though? He reminds me. I was just like thinking about it. Like the character that he most reminds me of. You guys have seen My Hero Academia.
yeah. Don't
Seen
say
a bit
rock
of
Bits
So,
lock.
and
That's racist if
pieces.
you say rock
Season one
lock.
and two.
good amount of
so
it.
like, okay, Tenji, Ken Takagi, the Rock. I think it's like Rock Lock.
Oh yeah,
Rock light.
Say rock lock. I knew you was gonna say it. Yeah, and it
Bro, it,
sucks because in the movies, Rocklock gets a little bit more love, but he's actually inconsequential at best. And I
yeah.
feel you on that with Bulletproof. That's
But
crazy.
you know, like, so yeah. Let me just
Rock
show the picture,
block.
and you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. Just look at that fucking look at the Google search, and you will know exactly what I'm saying. He's like that edgy character that has attitude on everybody, but doesn't do shit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. He's a
that's what it is. Like
skeptic.
they try to make him edgy to seem kind of interesting, but they haven't done enough with him, like you guys said, to like actually make him worth actually caring about at all.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he's just
And they
it's
actually
just
have
resting bitch
similar
face.
costumes.
Yeah, I would say he's like resting bitch face personified.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, yeah,
just hating all the time. That's all. He just straight hating. That's it. That's it. Maybe that's why
that's
I just
fair.
can't stand him. I don't know. It just ugh.
Yeah, Bulletproof has been to the player haters ball.
I was
Yeah.
just about to say that Buck
He
Nasty.
honored.
Bulletproof.
Okay.
Hate, 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 hate. I gotta read this. But
That's
yeah,
a throwback.
Okay, my
yes.
least favorite character, and then we'll circle back to Juan, and then we'll also get Wentz second wind. So make sure you're still collecting those as we talk. Um,
I got
Amber,
you.
Oh, that's
Amber,
good.
get me
She's
Mm.
out.
most people's favorite character, I think.
Oh.
Get me out. I liked her on her introduction. I liked
Hmm.
her up until they started dating. And I recognize that it's like the, oh, go get him, Tiger, Mary Jane. They didn't want to make her Mary Jane, but Mary Jane's a quality woman for a superhero. So I
Mm.
don't care. Amber,
No, I
like,
get that.
For
I
a superhero, I get what you mean.
yeah, she gave I get it, and then she was like, why would I ever get that?
She
I
bothered
think
me
that
after a certain
yeah,
point.
I think the issue for me is, like it feels like her like they were just like injecting like pure wokeness. Yeah,
Yeah.
just to be that kind of like edgy, like anti, yeah, like Mary Jane, right? But like
Yeah,
the
Mm-hmm.
issue is like why the fuck is she still there then? You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like why the fuck is she there for like 2 seasons then?
She's
yeah.
not even friends with
They just
Mark.
like did what they do with like every girlfriend of a superhero recently. Like they did this with Iris. I don't know if y'all watched the Flash show.
Yep. I have.
But like
Mm-hmm.
they did the exact same thing. Like all of a sudden she just started becoming unbearable for no reason. It wasn't even like conflicts that
Made
made
sense.
sense for her. Yeah, like made sense for her to even have this opinion. It was just like all of a sudden she's being written and as this totally not I shouldn't say totally different character, but like her intentions were or like her go-getiveness was like applied to her own husband. And it was just kind of weird in like a negative way. But anyway.
Yeah,
It's the
she
same
was.
thing with Amber. Like, oh, I knew all along, but like, okay, why didn't you fucking say something? Oh, I was waiting for. I'm mad because you. What the fuck are you talking about? How would I know? Like, all of that was like weird gaslighting that triggered me. If I'm being quite honest.
Mm.
But I honestly damn near forgot about Amber because Adam Eve is a baddie. So
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly her point. Like,
Yeah. They was like, oh, we don't want to make Amber Mary Jane. We got to Mary Jane. We
Amber
gotta
was when, bro.
scream Mary Jane. We gotta
Amber was
fucking
when she cool. She cool.
a-
yeah.
another like thing that's different from the comics. Like, she was a character that was originally not remotely memorable. She was just this like. I'm actually like drawing deep here to remember what she even looked like. I did a Google image her, like,
She's
just a
like a
moment,
redhead, right?
like a redhead, and she was like she was truly and deeply inconsequential. And I think
Mm.
like
Yeah.
for a while I liked what they did with Amber. So I thought they were going to do the same thing they did with Will. Like, oh, look, okay, you decided to make her a black woman, and you're exploring that. Okay, cool. Make her strong, making her focused, making her like not like falling over head over heels. Okay, I like this.
Hmm.
Why is she just bitching this all the time? What's going? Like, why? I mean, I liked her. I liked the give and go, the chase that was happening between the two, the friendly banter, and now not so friendly. Now it seems a little toxic. Like, what happened here? So that's something that Amber could have been like a lot better
Mm.
if it didn't force it. It's because the way they read her early on versus later on, it's such a stark difference. It's
Hmm.
such a sharp turn and how she interacted with Mark. It just didn't make any sense to me. Like,
I just
I
think it
don't
was
know.
a forced conflict so that like they wouldn't be compatible down the line.
Yeah, 'cause they couldn't go too far from
Yeah.
the main story because she wasn't meant to last that long or be that impactful or had that many like, much going on
Mm-hmm.
for dialogue. Like
Hmm.
she was truly like I didn't hate her in the comic. I just didn't have enough of a pain on her to begin with. So I think they did a good job
Good
with like
morning.
oh hello.
We have Soul Maze there.
What's up?
I didn't want to interrupt, but wanted to let you guys know that we will have an extra guest showing up. So Soul
Oh,
Alrighty,
Mazer, do a
cool.
little quick introduction for yourself, and then we'll finish up with Sergio's, and then we still got to finish our rotation on Juan's least favorite character, as well as Winton's honorable mention.
Hello, my name is Soul Mazer. Yeah.
the one and only, FPS shooter, mobile player. And no
Oh
player too,
gosh.
nothing special, That's it. Okay, you can go ahead and continue. Yeah,
Mm.
sorry.
What up, so
So, everybody doing good?
Do good, do good.
Yes.
Good,
Good, good dude.
good,
We're
good.
all hating on Amber from Invincible. Do you want to chip in real quick?
Now I let y'all take y'all got it because that was gonna be my answer anyway. So y'all got it. Go ahead.
Oh, we 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 share we
Listen,
share the least favorite character, so amazing.
here's a pitchfork. There's some thigh spools. Go at it. No, no, it's all right.
she's had
Damn.
enough.
But yeah, it's if it was forced. If it was a little bit more natural, they took if they're gonna put that much effort into making her a fleshed out character, if they just took a little bit more time in the failing of the relationship, showing they showed how absent Mark was in relationship, how like it was kind of straining when she needed him. But they kind of went a little bit more with that, so we understand where she's coming from. They did a better job with that. I think that it would have been better. Like they gave us the hope of this character, but they had to kill off, and they didn't do it
Yeah.
well. So
I
Yeah.
that's
think
that.
it at least they hit us with, because pretty much right after Anissa threatened her and attacked her and all that stuff. So at least it was like a traumatic event to kind of like
Yeah.
Nail the coffin.
shock it. Yeah, like
Yeah.
or shock her
Yeah.
out of that relationship. That kind of wasn't working, forced conflict or not, but at least there was something there to be like, and even story connecting wise of like, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not like you. I can't be like, I can't do this. Like, and to be fair, I completely understand her point of view, but
Yeah,
I
I
do
got
agree
my
that the
shit
execution
slapped.
of it was kind of, yeah, neck cranked over.
Right.
Um,
I got my
yeah,
shit
that's some
pushed in for
scary
you,
shit.
and you
It
weren't
probably
there to
felt
stop
like
her, and you couldn't
prob-
stop her.
probably felt like two cinder blocks on the neck, bro. That's scary.
Mm.
All right, so Amber's definitely low tier at best. Juan, you want to fill us in for your least favorite?
Yeah, yeah. So the two that I mean the one that I really disliked actually was Sinclair.
Mmm.
He's the mad scientist. That
Yeah,
was
he was a
like,
piece of shit. Yeah.
dude. Yeah, it's just again maybe it's the thing of like there was just nothing relatable about him. You know what I mean? Like he was just like purely that he's that fucking one nerd that was in like your middle school class that was getting like straight A's on everything, and so he just looked down on everybody. But then this guy literally took it as, no, you guys are ants, and I'm going to like do my fucking like my micro, like the magnifying glass experiment on you.
Hmm.
Like fucking putting that shit on the sun and then burning you
Mhm.
until I start having fun. Like it's just there was nothing redeemable about that guy. I think they made him that disgusting just to make it so that you hate Cecil that much more,
Hmm.
right? The fact that he actually sees value in what he produces because he actually, like those things that he made actually gave Mark a hard time. And to see, like Cecil to be as kind of like Machiavellian as he is, right? I think that's all that they wanted you to get from that. Not
Mmm.
they didn't want you to connect to that character at all. They just wanted you to understand this guy is like an irredeemable piece of shit
I
that has nothing that you can agree with. But Cecil is still going to use his technology in case Mark, goes rogue.
and I think there's a point to that Cecil keeps himself out of the bottom rung by doing. It's sort of deplorable in a lot of situations the way he's able to retrofit or like jerry rig calamity for the betterment of humanity. And
Mhm.
Mm.
there is a level that speaks exactly opposite to Sinclair, whereas like nothing Sinclair does, you're like, yeah, this is the right thing to do. Like, sure, buddy, whatever, But like
Mhm.
Cecil, even if you don't like what he does, you're like, all right, you're a bitch, but also they do a hard job of making you wrong. I wouldn't do what Cecil does, but most of Cecil's plans doing bad shit end up like preventing worse shit. And with Sinclair, I
Yes,
feel like all of his
necessary
choices.
evil versus a heedless evil.
Oh,
exactly.
yep.
Yeah, like and that's why I couldn't say, like I don't necessarily like Cecil, and I definitely see like like the kind of parallels between him and like the way that like the CIA or the NSA see themselves.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
like like you said, at least like there is some will to try to preserve something in him.
yeah. Okay, and when did you end up coming up with your honorable mention while we were chatting?
I did, and it was gonna be Robot, but to be honest, it's
Leave
Immortal.
Robot alone. That's
No,
my
no, no. I
boy.
did. I did.
You're right
Because to
about
be
that
honest,
one.
Robot the GOAT, but he a piece of shit. But
Yes, he's a
my
robot.
pick, but however,
Mm,
I'm not
yeah.
it's because he's a piece of shit. No. However, I'm changing my mind. It's
Mm.
Immortal.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Immortal
yeah.
I could see
is
that.
the lamest Boy
Insufferable.
Scout government. Superman and Dark Knight Returns. I only follow America, and he's a lame. He's
He's
lame, man.
the Winter Soldier and Falcon Captain America.
He's Superman
Oh
if Superman
no.
was a Daxamite.
A Daxamite. What is that?
It's not a Superman. It's not a Kryptonian. That's all I'll say. And it
What?
damn sure ain't a Kryptonian. Look up what a Daxamite is. You'll know.
I'm gonna look it up
All
right
you
now.
but
I'm not gonna
but
put it on
all you
screen, but
need
I'll
to
look it up.
yeah.
Yeah, see,
Whatever
because
that one guy from Supergirl season 2 was.
like even but like yeah like because like I appreciate that because like even Captain America becomes he becomes Steve Rogers because he actually has reservations about shit, whereas the
Exactly.
Immortal is just like an immortal sheep.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. Imagine living longer than like entire like nations and still thinking, oh no, I
Yeah.
still got to cuck to Cecil.
Oh my god.
Right.
Listen.
Bro, you could
Oh,
take over the whole world. Like, what are you
This,
doing?
hey yo, this Daxamite. I'm looking.
yo, maximize. I would pretty much like Kryptonian like equals, except they don't have a weakness to Kryptonian or to Kryptonites. But like lead takes them out, man. They can't even handle my drinking water. They can't even handle my tap water.
Keep the
What the
motherfuckers
fuck?
away
Yeah, and
from
they
the
can like
sink,
jump really
bro.
far, right? And just
Yeah.
Oh,
not all the
They even have the
I
House
don't
of
know.
L fucking symbol on one of these guys,
oh
bro.
my
Right. So
god.
remember when I was saying it's damn sure not a Kryptonian?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what Immortal is. He's damn
freaking
sure not a Vulcan. And
Superman
he's
Yeah,
lame as
yeah.
AliExpress.
shit. And he just be flying around. I'm entitled. And I've been around forever. But you don't know shit. You're still stupid. You're not wise at
Yeah,
all. Like
yeah.
he
Yeah, that's
sucks.
crazy, bro. Like
Yep,
Yeah,
he
it
is.
He
reminds me of
sucks.
that. It reminds me of that like episode of Futurama where like Fry looks at his bank account 1,000 years later and then sees that
Mhm.
he's like a billionaire. It's
Mm.
Yeah.
like, how much money do you think Invincible has? Like this motherfucker probably was like storing pennies before banks even existed.
Right.
How the fuck is he just such a cuck?
It doesn't make any sense. It makes
Yeah,
no
the
sense.
immortal is
And that
worthless.
and that's the one that's like literally the one thing that makes him insufferable for me because it's like whenever he opens his mouth, I know he's gonna say something stupid. Or he's gonna do
Yeah.
something stupid. And I'm just like, dude,
Where's
get it
Omni-Man?
together, bro. Like, what is wrong with you?
That's
It's
the
just
only
like I'm
time
like,
I liked
I
Immortal
think
is when he was on business after this motherfucker chopped his head off. And then when I realized Immortal's not shit,
Where is
he just
Omni
faced
Man?
him again and beat his
I
ass
think
again.
Where is he?
Like,
Oh,
nah.
and
oh,
I
Then
think
he's
it's
always
more
hating on Mark. Sorry, go ahead.
I think
Dang.
it's no, it's cool. I think it's just more of like he knows he can't do shit because he saw his team get wiped out the first
Yeah.
time by one person. And it's just like, I mean, I get it, but it's just like, dude. At some point, it's like, hey man, I can't do nothing. I'm just chilling. But it's like, you
It's
gotta do better.
it's like
You
that
just gotta
one
do-
guy who always want to run the fade, even though he get clapped
Yeah, I was
every
saying,
time.
Lil Habs, every time never wins. Statistically speaking, should win at least one fight. Just one fight.
Always with this shit, bro.
Immortal is like Namor.
Oh my god, that's good. That's a good one. That's a good comparison.
Like he's just a salty bitch.
Yep.
He has all the abilities to not like he has all the everything to not be that, but he still is that.
to a point where Nolan even had trouble. I don't even think Nolan had trouble with him at all. That's the problem.
At
That's
all.
my main problem with Immortal. Like you can't even give somebody like a run for their money.
That boy
Even
broke.
a
His
teen-
pockets is
even
low.
even a teenager can beat you like with ease. It's just like, bro, you've been alive for so long. Like the teenager,
No season 3, by the way.
He's a Dax somebody.
Just in general. Just
but
in
even
general.
but even still, if you like, even if you don't watch season 3, it's like you can clearly tell.
Mark
Like,
will
I mean,
beat his ass.
For being alive so
Think
long,
about
you
the
should
first
have like
episode. Right, like sorry. Like in the first episode, he's having trouble with the Mauler twins.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's the
Ew.
thing, bro. The things that don't have superpowers, there's just
They
don't
did
know, bro.
cluck his shit in the back of the head in the first
It's
episode.
like if they gave Captain America flight. No, it's like if they gave Vandal Savage flight and like a super soldier serum.
Yeah,
He
that's
got
pretty
some
good.
strength, but it ain't it.
and,
You ain't
Imagine he's just talking
superhuman.
shit. No, and it just keeps running into the meat grinder, but talking shit every time. And it's not by he loses to Viltrumites. By he loses
Lose to
fights.
everybody.
It's by he loses to everyone, sure. But also he just keeps fucking talking shit. Just keeps
Yeah.
It's
talking
just
Yeah.
the L.
I'm
It's
not gonna let
literally
you
that.
do this. You need to be stopped. I'm gonna boy. No, you need to
Well,
go
you ain't
ahead.
gonna stop me.
You need to stay a friendly neighborhood immortal, bro. You're not ready to fight Thanos.
He's worse
He's
than
like
Namek
that.
Vegeta.
Honestly, this
He's
boy
like that
is the
one-
true Super Saiyan, bro. He was the first Super Saiyan.
He's like that one kid from that SpongeBob episode when he was like, "I'm ready, I'm ready."
No, you
No,
ain't.
you ain't. Get your ass down. You're not
oh, standing, no,
SpongeBob,
you
bro.
ain't.
You are not
Wait.
SpongeBob. Sit your ass down. You
Oh.
can't beat nobody. Battle Beast to
Oh.
rip you to shreds in seconds. Get out.
I mean, it's so sad. Like, the more I think about it, the more sad it is. Like, this guy has been around probably longer than like human written text. So you would think like he
Literally.
probably knows every single story that was like ever written, but he
And all he
probably
does
did it
is
because
bores you to death.
like no, that's the worst part is that he probably didn't even like bother reading anything. He probably just like fucking like literally like spends all day like fucking drinking like protein shakes. And,
Training
like,
in
you know, like
Cecil's lab, bro. Doing nothing.
yeah, fuck,
He's like, I'm immortal. I have to maintain
You're-
my shit, my build.
I don't know if you guys watch Lucifer, like the TV show. He
I've
Yeah,
seen
I
a
saw
little.
that.
I've
He
seen a little.
I don't
reminds
care
me-
about spoilers.
He reminds me of the like a worse version of Cain. A way worse version. Even though Cain didn't have superpower, but Cain was alive. All of humanity. And he knew what to do, what he could and couldn't do. And I was just like, this is like, it's like your
Choke
character
slam.
is.
Choke slamming
Sorry.
is what he said.
I heard Kane and I can't.
Yeah, choke slam him to hell.
Choke slam him. Choke slam that son of a bitch. Choke slam him. Choke slam him. Choke. Okay.
It's just like, I don't know, like I want his character to be written so much better than what it is. And I feel like he could, like, he has so much potential for them to like go back and be like, okay, well, the immortal can do this, and this. They never did that, and that's what just like diminishes the character even more.
Cause bro, his ass inferior.
you know what's crazy?
But-
What if the immortal is actually older than Nolan.
Then he's the dumbest son of a bitch I've ever seen in my entire
The
life.
dumbest son of a bitch alive. Wow.
I would hate him even more, and he might
That
go up
would
to
that
my
would make it
actual
worse.
least favorite character.
That would make it
Was it?
worse.
If
Was
he
it?
was as old as
Nigga,
Nolan,
I think he is. He not?
and he's only been on Earth this whole time. He ain't try to fly and go to different planets. He's trash.
That's the
Man,
neat
He
thing.
can. He
suck.
can fly in space. He can fly in space.
That's the neat
Man,
thing.
look.
You
Oh
don't
no,
leave the
you need oxygen.
Cecil ain't letting that boy leave. He can't go nowhere.
Man,
He got a curfew.
Bro, this
His ass
guy,
got to be in bed at
you're right.
This has to
7:30.
He
work.
got a
Make it funny.
curfew.
this
I've
guy
been
was
sweating.
around from before, like fucking George Washington was
Yeah,
still in
wasn't
his
he?
in his dad's
He was
nuts.
Abe. He was honest Abe.
I
Was
was
he
about to
not?
say, wasn't he stand-in for Abraham Lincoln? Like he faked his death or some stupid shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, that just made me hate you even more. Like that doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
All right, all right,
Why?
all right. I got to rein in. We had to rein
The
in the
immortal
Amber
hate?
hate. Yeah, we got
Hate,
to
hate,
rein
hate.
in the
No,
immortal
we
hate.
don't. No, we
hate,
had
hate,
to
hate.
rein in the Amber hate. We didn't have to rein in the immortal hate. Everybody agreed on immortal here. We had whole separate stories and
He
points and all
might.
types of stuff.
He might be actually. The immortal might be younger than
Yeah, he's probably
Nolan.
He might
I
be
would hope
younger than
so.
yo.
I
Not by
would
much.
really hope
Not by,
so.
no, I didn't look this shit up.
Yeah, don't make me hate
They
him even
said
more,
they. I
guys.
mean, it said someone said that the immortal's estimate to be like 1,000.
Okay, well, yeah,
Be more.
Oh, but yeah, definitely
definitely
younger.
got
A
a leg up on
1,000
that
human
boy.
years.
Yeah.
Wow. So
So
he's
I
not.
think this is a really good place because we've been getting hooked up on some ideas to transition into the next topic. What was the moment in season 1 or 2, episode, scene, event that hooked you into the show? Most people would say the most polarizing episode is episode 1. The finale of episode 1 either makes you stay forever or it makes you not want to watch it. So let's try and move out of the finale, Nolan versus the Guardians, the scene outside of that hooked you into the series.
I don't know, cause like
Um,
that is the scene right there.
Mm.
That is literally the scene. Unless you got something different, which is cool. I mean, if you want to say Mark and Nolan, yeah. But
That's pretty good.
I would say I can't just go against that scene because that is the scene where it's like that's how we want someone like Darkseid to come to
The
to
Justice
come to the
League.
Justice Tower
Yeah.
and then just beat the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what I would want, but in
I
that
would
scene kind of
say
covered for me in a sense.
mm,
I would say one. I kind of already touched on it earlier. It was one of my favorite moments of the season 1 or 2. That whole episode with Titan and how he it kind of orchestrated this whole thing into kind of be into his favor, and the whole battle at the tower and Battle Beast popping up out of nowhere and just beating everybody damn near to death, and
yeah.
all of that was like, and it was a crucial moment for Mark. It wasn't just like Mark's story. I mean, it wasn't just Titan's story and like his kind of ascension. It was
Mm,
also mainly about how Mark has not to that point faced adversity. Speaking of what you were saying before about like taking punches, like you got to
mm-hmm.
be able to take these hits. Like he took all the hits from Battle Beast, but but yeah,
He
that
had no
whole
choice.
episode
That shit was thrusted
great. One
upon
of the
him.
Yeah, one of the greater episodes of the series. So I would go with that. Outside of the
Yeah,
uh,
because everybody's,
opening first
Nolan
episode
versus,
and the
yeah.
finale. Outside of those, I would pick that.
Okay. Serge, you got some sage like wisdom from comic to animation for your hooking scene.
I mean, I was always gonna be like invested. I love the comic. After the first season, I was like, okay, I'm into this. We
Mm.
finish reread the comic from where I started and finish it. But and we're bringing up memorable scenes, but I don't. But I would like to talk about a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Was the parallels of Mark beating down the face of Livy
Mm.
was compared to when he was getting beat up. We were talking about it before. That one season, that one scene from the previous when he's getting pounded on by his father, like his teeth going left and right, like
Yeah.
seeing that happen again at around the end of season two. I think that was our last episode of season two.
It was.
Was
Yeah.
that right there? Seeing him also enter that brutality,
Puddle
not
Levy.
yeah, because he was already struggling with that with his own identity. He was struggling with like, like separating himself from the brutality of what he thought was his aspiration. Like people always talk about their dad being their hero. No, his dad was everyone's freaking hero.
Yeah.
And having that broken apart and having to rebuild his own ego to build up what he's about, what makes him a hero, and looking down at the blood, the brutality of it, of what he had to do to protect what was his, protect his family, and that moment, that shocked moment when he's covered in the gore of those that would have done harm to him and his, or have
Mm.
done harm to him and his, and maybe feeling a little more connected to his father in a way that he didn't want to be connected to him. That right there
Mm.
was a very pungent scene for me.
Okay. I love that.
Okay.
Juan?
I can go next. Yeah. So, thinking back on like the first season, I think one of my favorite scenes was the scene where Nolan, like, so you remember, like, there's like the whole little, like, the invasion, like the alien invasion plot line,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which, like
The Pentapox.
yeah, yeah, right, like basically like these guys just continuously coming back, and the fact that their, their time moves faster, right? So I think what's like really kind of interesting about it, Nolan going back with them and then
Mm.
like destroying their entire civilization. Right at
Yeah.
this
Yes.
point, you had no right, like everybody just thought of Omni Man as Superman,
Yeah, the
right?
upper ceiling.
Yeah, right.
Glass
Like
ceiling.
right, like, and so I think that's like that's the first scene where they start planting the ideas of like, okay, maybe this guy is not Superman, like you don't necessarily know where they're going with it, but like if you think about it in like a rational perspective, right? What's the only way to deal with these aliens? You do have to annihilate them,
Yep.
right? Because no matter what, if you let them keep escaping, they're just going to keep like exponentially accelerating in technology. Who's to say that in some time, like maybe, a year from then, if that, they
Mm.
might even start possessing technology that can start killing Viltrumites.
Yeah, we gotta get them out of here because in 3 days they were able to stop everything. It was 30 years, I think it was something like that. Like
Yeah,
one day
yeah.
was
Three
like
days
10.
was like 30 years. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
That's for a
like,
beard.
man,
Flaxlands, right?
yeah, the flaxens,
Yeah.
the flax
And so
seeds.
like it
Ew.
totally like it's a totally rational way of dealing with the problem, right? You just got to exterminate them. But it's just
Mhm.
it's seeing it. Like one part is like seeing it and getting, like it's almost like you feel like, you're getting like a blood rush, Like getting that adrenaline pumping up, seeing like, oh shit, Superman is just like fucking destroying everything.
A
Like literally
civilization.
bringing these
Maximum
guys back
effort.
to their stone age.
Yep, maximum
Yeah.
effort from Superman.
And like my favorite thing is like when he first goes into the portal, he says, "You guys don't understand. The Earth is not yours to take."
Mm.
Right? At the when you first see that, you can interpret that as, "Oh yeah, no nobody can take Earth."
Yeah,
Right? Because
I'm the
he's protecting
protector.
it.
Hmm.
Right. But then when you watch it again the second time, you're like, "Oh, that is the perfect wording
Yep,
for exactly
Right.
what
possessor.
he's doing. Hands
Yeah.
off my prey."
Yep.
Hmm. Right.
I
Because
love that.
Viltrum's
So
Okay.
like yeah, that one was like a really nice scene. It was just like one seeing him, do something really dark, but nobody else witnessing it except for the viewer.
Yep.
Mm.
And then yeah, like also like the little hints at like okay, there's something else going on here with this guy.
This motherfucker ain't real. That motherfucker on that planet isn't real. For me,
Right there.
for me, I think the scene that really cemented it for me, and it is a little bit biased from an HBO Max show that I watched called, and I always forget it. Oh, I'm gonna look it up. Because I forget it every time, but it was so influential because the art style was so nice.
Oh, the one you recommended.
Yes, yes.
Isn't it like Noah or something? Like NOA? Or maybe I'm tweaking.
What is it called? Shoot. In any case, I will continue as I look it up. I'll continue my scene. The the trip to Mars to save the astronaut. The invasion of those like people snatchers, like the hive mind. I think that is when I started to really understand that it wasn't like Young Superman, the TV show,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a show about this world where there are heroes all over the place. There are threats outside of Earth, and it's not like a Spider-Man where it's like, oh, I'm just taking care of New York or I'm just taking care of Chicago. It's like, nah, we have to go out into the world and help with extra ordinary, like, because they're super villains, so everything's extraordinary, but like
Avengers
extraordinary.
Reign.
Scavengers Reign, REIGN. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
not sponsored. I suggest everybody take a small look at it.
I've seen that.
Yep,
It's in
Scavengers
my
Reign
list.
is really
Excellent.
good.
It was very
The
good.
way I
So
even found
good.
it.
So very good. But the idea of like that hive mind, and even when it comes to the astronaut that they saved being responsible for them continuing to live on, like that species being able to continue to live on. He made the stupid mistake on the station, and then he was also like bugged to bring it to Earth, which I'm not sure if that's spoilers for season 3, but I
Not
feel
really.
like there the storyline isn't over.
No, because that astronaut shows up in that same episode, so it's not really like
Okay. So it is
spoiler.
it is shown that he brought it back with him. But I think that for me as like a sci-fi head, a superhero head, and as like a mystery guy, it really cemented that it wasn't like that there were layers to the show. Because of course you enjoy, some mindless violence, some superhero politics. We've already been conditioned to that with the Sokovia Accords and Batman versus Superman, and you know so many different shows and movies that uh that obstacle, especially because they were like multiplying. And I love this is something I love, which is slight spoilers for season 3. There is a similar situation where an overwhelming amount of entities needs to be punched. Like, here's how you set the scene. You remember in the Matrix 3 where all of the Sentinels would like come together to make like a moving pillar of like thousands of individuals, but they make like a giant arm or something, like overwhelming odds where you just like punch that shit and it's like thousands of little pieces coming off. That's my thing. I like that. you, so seeing them having to fight through thousands and thousands of these reproducing aliens that can like take over you, having to fight the control of it without killing the host, like all of that stuff really just showed me like the world of Invincible was built to last. And that's
You know,
one of my favorite scenes.
a fun little Easter egg.
Mm-hmm.
Jimon Honso? He's the guy. He's in like Blood Diamond and
Yeah.
Gladiator. So
Never
he
back
actually
down.
voices the Martian Emperor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jamon Honsu, that's my boy. Yeah.
Yeah, I could hear the who in his voice.
Who? Star-Lord? Star-Lord? Bro, he was not
it's
fucking with bro.
honestly, dude, like this cast, like it's crazy how much money Amazon must have blown, like hiring all of these like high profile actors for like bit lines. Like
Yep.
like the first episode, like you remember like there was that whole little story with like the security guard talking about his teenage stepson.
Yeah, and
That's
taking
like,
him on a
getting
trip.
issued.
Wasn't that like
That dude
John
was,
Hamm?
yeah, voiced by John Hamm, fucking Madman.
Powerful.
No, they definitely put a lot of stock into who they wanted to be in the show.
Yeah.
What I like about Prime is like you can literally pause it and see.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
X-ray. They
yeah.
have the
Yeah,
Who's
X-rays.
talking? Yeah, I like
They
that.
need that for like every streaming service.
They probably got that patent in, so people can't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
smart.
Bezos original, bro.
Pluckos. Thanos. Jeff Bezos Thanos.
Jeffrey
Wolf
Thanos.
Ball.
Okay,
So am I.
this is I'm clever. Toot my own horn. I think
Toot
that's
is crazy.
a certain level of power that comes from being at Amazon that allows them to have that ability. Transitioning into our next topic, if you could have one power or ability from any superhero in season 1 or 2, which would you choose and why?
Does Angstrom count, even though he's not a superhero?
That's why I said power or ability. Yeah.
Angstrom.
Ew.
Why would you want Angstroms? Let's hear the why. So amazing. I was gonna have you go first, but
Because
clearly.
it's endless possibilities.
True. Yeah.
Now, to be fair, he kind of had to like gather up all of his
Selves.
counterparts, so maybe not Angstrom. But,
I mean, he didn't.
You know what? Actually, the dragon dude, the dude who can turn into a freaking dragon, never
Leader?
died.
Yeah.
Season 3 spoiler.
Yeah.
So next time, let's have Soul Mazer start, huh? Let's have Soul Mazer.
Hey, guys.
Bro wants to be Jake Long. He's going to different fandoms talking about being American Dragon Jake Long.
Yeah.
Bro,
Still
yeah.
upset about the animation change.
We're still,
That's another story.
but you're getting off topic. We were talking about Invincible. I don't know about Jake Long being an Invincible. Soul Mazer, what a power.
As much, honestly, as much as I would love to be a Viltrumite, I would have to go Adam Eve.
Ooh, yeah, very good.
That's fair.
like she's literally the strongest person in that universe. She literally can do it. I know she can literally do anything. Like her potential is like limitless, if anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Can she do anything?
I would
She
say
can make anything out of nothing. What are you talking about?
I would
She can
say
literally do that.
I would say this about Adam Eve's power. It is a little bit like Creati from My Hero Academia. Yaoyorozu. If
that's
she's
exactly what I was
not
thinking about.
knowledgeable of the materials that make up something, she cannot make it. So
Yeah.
I do think that is a balanced power because you would have to supplement it by learning the structure of things in the universe. Like on a molecular level, obviously you can create. That's why she's like a shaper more than like anything else. She can turn like kind of like a Green Lantern construct, but she does have a very almost limitless ceiling because once you understand how muscles are put together, you can create new limbs. If you understand how air works, you know.
But at that point, she's basically omnipotent at that point.
She's only limited by her brain.
Yeah, information gathering does have a limit in all humans.
I
But
mean, I still think
that'll
that's pretty
be
cool.
yeah. I do. I agree. But I think I was only saying it to say that it is a very balanced power for that reason.
Right.
See the limited, limitless character.
Yeah, like all humans, you have a limitless soul and a limited body.
Imagine if she and like Rudy Robot had kids.
Oh, dude, that would. Oh, I was about
That would
to.
actually it'd be like Gambit kind of, but
He
I
with
just
mean, I
downloaded
mean,
more
himself
power.
on her body,
I mean, at that point, you might as well just give Rudy her power. At that point,
right?
Yeah.
No, if they had a kid, that kid had combined powers of them, he would be a
he don't
menace.
even have a power. He just smart.
That's
Who?
I mean,
crazy.
he's
That
abnormal.
intellect.
He is
Yeah, he's
abnormal.
abnormal
He
as
is like
hell,
he
but
is like
Oh, you know
debilitatingly
what?
smart.
Forgive me, guys.
Yeah.
he's
Thinking of an
he really just smart. That's all he is, and then there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just
He's
yeah,
no,
built
but
different.
no,
He's
actually
built
no.
different.
Even still, that would still be super dope. Super intelligent, but like very knowledgeable of your abilities off rip. He
Yeah.
might be or they might be a villain.
Omega level. Omega level threat.
Yeah,
Mm.
Adam
Clown.
and anybody really. She's just to go.
you just say Adam and Eve.
Adam Eve, yes, is to go.
Clown. What power would or ability would you take from season 1 and 2?
From season 1 and 2 specifically, what characters have we met? Kind of most of the cast going through. You know what? I have to give it to knowledge. I'm gonna drop it with knowledge with robots. I want the abnormal brain
Yep.
because
Mm-hmm.
there's so much potential. We talk
Mm.
about. So I'll say I'll take the abnormal brain, but that actually like helps him. That's the one. So I'll
Okay.
go for that.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Juan, you wanna round us out before I wrap this one up? It seems like
This
we
is
got
tough,
some
man.
pretty
Like,
cut and dry powers here. Adam,
no, yeah, I mean,
Eve,
y'all guys
Angstrom,
took all the
Levy.
good ones.
I'm
What else is left?
nah.
Fucking Rams
I'm
blown?
still
I mean,
seeing 3.
you can be
We gotta
you can
come up with
also,
No
something else.
suggestions. No suggestions. No suggestions. No
Let me see.
suggestions.
Let me see. I'm looking. I'm looking at who's left.
How about this can of black olives, huh?
Okay.
Sounds
Isotope.
delectable.
Isotope.
Isotope is
Yes, I feel you.
crazy. I'm here
Isotope
for
is great.
that.
Great choice.
Okay.
Why would you
Yeah. See,
choose
I think
Isotope?
like because he gets all the advantages of is it Red Rush? Like the yeah, Red Rush,
Speedster.
right? Like yeah, the Flash basically.
Right.
So he gets all of his
Russian
benefits,
Flash.
but doesn't pay like the penalties of like everything moving in slow mo for him.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Just
tell me
instant
you like the
teleportation.
movie Jumper without telling me you like the movie
I
Jumper.
didn't want to bring it up. You know me, and
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
want to bring it up.
I
The
could
best
I could
horror
do
movie
that
of
for
all
you.
time.
The
Great
best
movie.
worst the best worst movie, Jumper.
Great
The best,
movie.
no, it's the
Great
best movie on
movie.
cable of all time. The best movie to watch on cable of all time.
Okay, that's fair. Isotope is pretty good. And he's a little sneaky Sumida for the drop heads out there. He's a little Sumida, bro. Little cheese and teleport out the room after he gets you beat up by guys. Teleport 6 guys to your bathroom while you're taking a shit and smile as they beat the fuck. No, Isotope's pretty good. I think all of y'all sleeping. I'm sorry. I'm taking Duplicate. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you for not choosing Duplicate
So
because
you would take
Why not
Duplicate-
multi-Paul?
You would take Duplicate over Alex?
over who?
They have the same
Alan the
power.
Alien?
Yes. I
Yeah,
barring
is just dope with it.
barring season 3, I don't need Alan's powers.
Okay.
But for me, I've always said if I could have one Naruto jutsu, it would be Shadow Clone. You gotta be fucking kidding me. My woman
No,
would.
no, 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 no. This is not fucking. This is not Shadow Clone Jutsu. When these motherfuckers get impaled,
You feel it.
somebody's feeling that.
It ain't gonna be me. Shit,
That's fair.
it ain't gonna
That's
be
what you
me.
think, right?
You
I'm
feel it.
finna,
What you think?
Whole,
I'm finna
bro, you
dupla,
gotta,
I'm finna duplitinch myself to do my homework. I'm finna duplitinch myself to wash these dishes. I'm gonna go on a
you
date.
have a whole
I'm gonna go.
clan, bro.
I'm
But you're
gonna go.
experiencing that. You're
Friends.
Yes,
experiencing it.
and I'm gonna go sip and paint with my girlfriend, and I'm gonna read books with my grandma.
You got
Imagine a
girlfriends.
threesome. Imagine a devil's threesome with yourself.
Oh,
I would
Oh
love
my
that for me, and I'm
God.
sure my lady would love it too, cause she would probably never be down for a threesome unless it was with me and me.
Me and me. Hey, baby, it's me and me.
Dupla
Me,
tench to the
myself, and
world
I.
ends, bro. I wouldn't go all out. And just imagine,
Duplicate.
dude, if some buff like you talk shit to some buff guy, he's gonna punch you. You just leave a little guy there, bro. Like, oop, not me. Fuck that guy.
That's
If you
hilarious.
break his jaw, guess what? Somebody will clean it up. Getting out of here, bro.
He just popped
I
back
didn't think
into
you could
you.
fight. I was
but
talking.
Is
That's
that how
one
it
thing.
works?
you're gassing him so much. Imagine punching someone so hard you see two of them.
Once he makes, once they make the clones, do they have to kill them for them to like,
She,
That
like,
was what
can
I was gonna
they?
Kate,
ask.
Kate can reabsorb living clones.
Yeah, you can
Right.
reuse.
Okay.
The dead
Because I'm
clones,
like,
no.
he bring out a clone just to get punched, and it's just like, damn. It's just like walks away and lives his life.
No, I would never allow my clones to roam free,
Well, I
bro.
mean, like, you
You
know
know
what I
what I
mean?
would
Like, he
do?
just kind of
I
like,
would do spoilers for
mhm,
spoilers. The
yeah,
same way that spoilers happened. That's what I would
triple
do.
spoilers.
Yeah, I would take a spoiler route and spoiler my spoiler where the spoiler would be safe
Yeah,
from
that's why if
spoilers.
he went to France, it would be spoiler.
Yeah.
You know what I
But
mean?
oh, I think I have an honorable mention for a power.
Mm.
Oh.
Shrinking Ray.
Ooh, that's fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That one is fun.
I
I
think
do
that
like
could
her
be
as a
really
character.
cool. She's
It
so hot
She's
to
like,
me in like a
yeah, she's
chill
like
woman
very like,
way.
Yeah, I get that.
Ray's great.
She's
Can
so
I
hot.
can I have an honorable mention?
Yes.
Can I just be a spook like Cecil?
That's
Yes, bro.
crazy.
The power to be a fucking government. I
Hey,
have
top.
everything. I have Rhiannon. I have
The
the
power of
power to
lip
be the
scars.
invincible Nick Fury.
Yeah, listen, I just wanted every time I pick up my remote and change the channel, I wanted to cost the taxpayers like $5 million. That's all I want for
Literally.
myself.
Like, I'll just take a pay cut from that, Donald. I love that Walton Goggins is Cecil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I just
He's
love
a
that.
good guy for that one.
Everything I've seen Walton Goggins in is just incredible. So, but yeah.
Honestly, if I had an honorable mention, it would be the guy that can go in shadows.
Oh, you're talking about Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, yes,
Mhm.
Darkwing Duck. Yes.
Yeah, let's get dangerous.
Darkwing. Yes.
Bro's trauma bonded to his powers, bro. He turned himself into Batman so he wouldn't have to use his superhuman abilities. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you want to be the worst character in the show?
Yeah, you missed that. Oh, you missed that earlier.
I mean,
Yeah,
to
You
be
want to
Went
have
fair,
the
hates
power?
to be
Darkwing.
fair, that man
You
can
want to have
literally
the
go
power
into a.
to
He can literally go into a shadow, into the shadowverse.
yeah, and do what?
I don't know. Pop up anyway. He can teleport.
He
He be
can
getting
he could come
scared,
out the
bro.
cut, bro. He's in the cut,
He getting
man.
scared, and then he get trapped, and then the monsters be killing him. He has no reign over the monsters at all. He just bring them into a pocket dimension that's hellish as hell. And you can't see a goddamn thing. And for some reason, he likes to bring motherfuckers there and possibly get trapped. He's the dumbest character ever, next
Hey,
to Immortal.
sometimes you gotta get
No, I'm
trapped, bro.
no, I
Sometimes you
feel
just
you.
gotta get
Now,
trapped.
It's an
I will say
honorable
this
mention.
though: if we have a caveat of like we get the power and we don't suck, then
And we don't suck.
or the
Immortal.
power itself doesn't suck, like like for Monster Girl, I would like to have Monster Girl's power just without growing younger.
Mm.
Like if I didn't have that curse and it was just more of like a ancestral thing that's passed on.
Oh, so like that rhyming ass nigga that I always talk about with the little booty
Literally,
shorts.
but I can change back into a human.
Yeah,
I can
he's
be out
got the
here
little
rhyming
booty
and,
shorts and the red shirt.
talking shit.
Oh,
Yeah, as a
Demon.
big ass monster.
What's his name?
He's like orange, looks like a pumpkin.
From DC.
Yeah, he
Now's gone the
rhymes.
time of man. Now's the time. Okay. God,
There
I
you
Yeah,
go. He's
that
forgot
guy.
rhyming and shit.
Oh
He's like got
God, no,
fire around him and rhyming.
yeah. I
His
think I
red
forgot.
eyes.
Yeah. Gone the time
Yeah,
of man. Fuck, I don't remember it.
right. He has the whole thing. DC loves their little rhymes and songs. Like, anyway.
Etrigan. Yeah,
Etrigan,
Etrigan.
Of course,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
yeah,
his name.
With the little booty shorts on.
yeah.
Mm.
Kill himself for sure.
It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
His quads are fucking popping out the seams, bro. He doesn't care. He's showing that shit
See,
off.
he didn't waste his time like Immortal.
Right.
Okay.
That's all Immortal did for 1,000 years.
I think it's time to bring in our last topic, and we'll wrap it up with our expectations for season 3. We've been doing our best to avoid any spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it. But what are you looking forward to in season 3? If you can avoid direct plot points, you can allude to things that you would like, whether or not they do or don't happen.
Mm.
Just try to avoid direct plot points if you've already seen season 3.
I would like to see Nolan and Mark meet again.
Oh, yeah.
I think that their relationship is, especially after season 2, and like him, like Mark, like meeting him after that traumatic event, really, and then seeing how Nolan changed and just like how Mark embraced him instead of fighting him, and like it's just pure. And I think fans, are me included, are desperately waiting for that to happen. Just because we need 2 Viltrumites out here. It'd be nice.
Yeah.
No, we got a little purple man over there,
Ollie.
Big Ollie,
Yeah. Ollie Oxenfree.
and I hope to see him grow.
Okay. That could be a stretch.
That's crazy. Not even a stretch, bro. We already said this motherfucker be growing
So
at a rapid pace.
so Mazer.
Lord, season 2 with them little bug people talking that talk. You know what I'm saying?
Soul Mazer,
It's
what
like,
what are
we
you
live
looking
to be
forward?
two.
What are you looking forward to in
Be
season 3,
honest.
Soul Mazer?
I want Adam Eve's parents to. Well, not even her mom. I want her dad to die. Honestly, that's what I want.
Damn.
That's
I
Low-key the least favorite
I
character.
don't agree, and I feel you.
He's not my least. He's not my least favorite character. But it's like the way he treats her is kind of like fucked up. It's like
horrible.
why do you treat your daughter like that? Your daughter can literally kill you if she wanted to.
I don't
Like,
agree, and I
yeah.
feel you.
If she,
I
if she
feel you.
wanted to,
Yeah.
but it's
Also,
like
yeah, but I also think it's but it's also the thing of like you're the parent and like, but he's the parent, and it's like
She's a freak, bro.
she's not gonna do
I'm a
anything
parent
to
too,
harm him.
I'm a parent too, but what?
I think he knows that.
She's a freak, bro. We get it. Like, yeah, be nice to your daughter, and your daughter's a freak, right? You know.
Maybe like,
I'm clearly an X-Men character.
maybe like after that, yeah. But then it's just like, because the relationship she got with her OG is actually pretty cool. Like,
You
Yeah.
can literally make money. I hate you. Like, fuck him.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's
like that's
wow.
that's it right there.
Turn
That's,
the apple into gold right in front of dude, and he was like,
Turn that
You're a
shit back,
weird-
stupid.
"You're a
I-
weird girl."
I paid 75 cents for that. Turn that shit back. I want to eat
You made
that.
that useless.
You
Weird
dummy.
girl.
You think I could eat this? Stupid.
You're a girl and you're strong and you're weird.
Okay, so we want
I don't like
We want Eve's dad dead.
I don't want him. I just
We
want him
want
out
him
of
dead.
here.
We want his
Killed
own
off.
brother.
Get
That's
him
all I
out of
want.
here.
Get him out of, or
Put his own
make
birds
him
in
a
the
better
ground.
character. Something.
Fair.
He too fat to be that mad, bro. I'm sorry.
That's
That's
wild.
crazy.
I don't
You're,
care.
you're you're feeding into the stereotype that all
I
big,
don't
bulky
Ain't
care.
no.
men
All right, so
have
we're
to be.
not even gonna
Huh?
identify the stereotype that he's feeding into because we include everybody here, and everybody, no matter how
Yeah,
they conduct
That is
themselves,
that
that's
is
that's
are
that's what I'm
worthy
saying.
of either being getting out of here or being here and being nice. That's what we say.
Big
pick a struggle. That's all I gotta say. Just pick a struggle, bro.
Yep.
that part.
Fair
Pick a
enough.
struggle. Pick a
One.
struggle.
That's crazy.
Mm.
But
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in watching like the little brother
Oh
Mm.
grow
yeah.
up and like mature. Because like I think the thing about it is, and like they touched on this a little bit in like the at like the end when when the handoff happened.
Mm-hmm.
But like he like he grew up in like a different society. You know what I mean? Like their like norms and their like customs, like they don't, for instance, like they don't get so attached to like life and death, right? Like obviously they don't want to die, but like when somebody dies, they don't make like a huge fuss over it. So
Yeah.
like it makes you think about like, maybe at some like genetic or like some like subconscious level, he just thinks about life differently
Mm.
Mm.
than say a human like Mark does.
mm,
Okay, so you're interested in kind of seeing how that dynamic will play as he grows.
Yeah.
Okay. I could see that. Because even his mom was like, we probably ain't finna last more than a couple of weeks up here anyway. Even if they wasn't
that's true.
finna, invade us, most of us would be dead before he grew up.
Mm-hmm.
So as he matures, which will be at a way faster rate, but it's so interesting because his mother, like, and her people age so extremely quickly, and then
Yeah.
Viltrumites age so extremely slowly.
Only when they get
Mm-hmm.
Right.
older.
So where's the
When
cap there?
he says like when they get older, they age slowly. He also told Mark that he said that your Viltrumite cells are basically fighting your human cells.
Mm.
So it's like I think that's probably gonna be the same thing with his brother, that the cells is probably gonna be fighting and the Viltrumite cells is gonna win regardless. So he's probably not gonna age.
After a certain
Maybe
point.
right.
Mm.
Right. Like after like say
Mark's age.
whatever the well, yeah, but like whatever like the
So
like
like
20, whatever the peak age of like
so maybe
men
like
is,
whatever
25 or
like
whatever.
so maybe like whatever so maybe like however we age is probably what's gonna happen to his younger brother. And then as
Mm.
Mm.
soon as he gets older, then it's really gonna start slowing down. That could possibly be it. That's
Oh.
what
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay. And then clown, and then I'll finish up, and we'll do a little bit of a closing exercise.
Okay. I would. I have not seen much of season three, so hopefully I'm not hitting any major story points here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would really love to see such a blatant, reckless, excessive use of taxpayers' dollars by Cecil, but they have to ratify the entire way we govern the audit. Okay, if that could happen for season three, it would make me very happy.
The Cecil love is real.
I'm imagining
No,
like
the governmental budget hate is real. It ain't it's fuck Cecil, but he just wants to see Cecil
Yeah,
manipulate the taxpayers'
I
money.
want him to clone the Dodo, take one bite, and then throw it away. Okay.
Bro, Cecil would do that if it was protecting the world, bro.
yeah, yeah. I
Oof.
like I just
Gonna
imagine that like
protect this
every
earth, Mark.
every button press of like the teleport costs like $20 million.
Jesus Christ, he's. Do you remember when he was being chased by Nolan, bro?
He almost caught his ass by the collar.
Well,
Yeah.
Just
well,
take two
That
states
boy
off the
checked. That
electric
boy checked his
grid.
neck too. He was
uh,
just like, what?
See?
uh,
Hit
it goes,
that button.
it goes to public libraries.
But this
Ooh.
man he's spending billions of dollars just doing that teleport over and over.
Montana has now lost power permanently.
And he's using that to run away from a friend.
You know what?
What? What did you just say?
A
Nolan.
friend.
A
Well,
friend.
a once a friend. He's trying to kill him now, but he's still a friend.
They're not
He
getting away.
told him, I thought
That's
we were
true.
friends, Nolan.
That's
Oh,
true.
friends, Nolan.
I used to think a lot of things.
Like, if I could say one more thing, Tim, before you take over.
Mhm.
We were talking about lifespans just a second ago with
Yeah.
Viltrumites. I'm seeing anywhere between 50,000 to 50,000 years potentially for a lifespan. Maybe 100,000. I'm like, man, can we give some props to Debbie? Because imagine spending like an afternoon with a fruit fly. And that's spending the rest of your
Yeah.
fucking life
Yeah.
as a
Debbie
human.
Debbie is one of my like top 5 favorite characters in this show.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
She's really,
yeah,
really
definitely.
good.
Like
Yep.
the resilience that she has, holy
Mm.
shit.
Yeah.
Impressive.
She's not insufferable.
And she a baddie, low key.
Yo, she is.
And she has her moments of like, I like that they, season 2, they give her moments of like to feel that pain.
Yeah, crash
You know what I
out
mean?
a little
Like,
bit. Yeah.
yeah, like they give her that time. Like it's not just like I have to be strong all the time. It's like she has that there, but it's like she breaks multiple times, and it
Mm-hmm.
definitely uh, pushes the relationship with her and Mark further. But he becomes the man of the house and everything.
Yeah. He waited his whole life to be the man of the hour.
Right? He was
Yeah.
he was Tate man.
Give me 1 second, and then I'll drop my expectations for season 3.
Copy that, Gov.
Did anybody else think that Anissa was a baddie?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Me?
I did.
You mean no?
Yeah.
Braid and all, bro.
Objectively.
Show up. Show up,
She
baby.
was slim thicking. Slim thicking for sure.
I was like, brother, you gonna fold right there and not because
AWG.
Get out the way if you're not. I volunteer as tribute. I'm putting up the 3 fingers, bro. I'm blowing the whistle.
man.
And the Diet
Blow
Warriors.
the whistle.
Okay, so what I'm looking forward to in season 3 and beyond is sort of a more realistic version of Fallout. I'd like to see a lot more of that, like Justice League, Batman versus Superman, and I keep bringing this up because this is the closest we've gotten to like a animated. Well, the live action was as close as we got to something like this for Batman versus Superman and the Justice League, where it's like there are tangible issues with the world after some of the stuff that's going on, because we've seen the whole world is like, oh, Omni-Man was fighting Invincible, but like they were fighting in the mountains, no buildings were destroyed. Well, they were fighting in Chicago and stuff.
No, yeah, listen, okay? That shit was like, that was like fucking like 29 11s that happened, okay?
Yeah, that was a lot.
Well,
Okay,
I would like to see
Yeah.
see more of where that is gonna go in the future, because
Crazy
I
how they
think
picked Chicago of all places though.
I mean everybody be trying to fuck up
mean, you
that
know,
bum ass city of
I
yours.
was gonna say something crazy.
Yeah,
But yeah.
right. Look, I done moved out and now I'm bougie. Fuck that city, boy.
Let's say it's already a war zone.
Need to.
Already a war zone. Might as well drop 2 bombs.
But yeah, I would like to see more of the world's response, because we saw Cecil doing his superhero thing and the Guardians and even some of the villains, but I'd like to see how the world will respond to some of these more outlandish issues that especially arose with Angstrom Levy and shit. Like, what's the world got in store for Mark and the crew? So
It's more
that's
like world building, pretty much, right?
yeah, kind of like
Okay.
yeah, you got me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they can't keep getting away with
Yeah, they can't get away with
this.
Wait.
it. Wait.
Yeah, I like
One
it.
of my
I
favorite.
love it.
Oh shit.
Okay. So
I'm sorry.
I
Okay.
think in general this was very productive. I think we all kind of was able to flex our personal knowledge and learn a few things from each other. So I'd like to do this closing exercise for the Due to the Deep podcast because we've dived so deep on these topics, and that's really the point of this podcast is to take popular media ideas, schools of thought, and provide them a dive into the deepness that I believe is overdue. So that's what we provide here on the Due to the Deep podcast. So this is an exercise to rise back up to the surface. Tell me one thing about Invincible that you would share with your mom in order to help her, watch the show.
Well, uh, I'll answer the question, but I will say I already got my mom hooked on the show.
Nice.
Simply, and I'll answer that question simply with how it was presented to me to watch the show. Just watch the first episode. If you don't like it, blah blah blah. The the funny thing about my mom is she didn't like it per se because it was so like violent, but
Mm-hmm.
she has so many questions she couldn't help but to keep watching. So
Very good.
I
So
would say
just
that.
hit that episode, hit start on 00, and
Yes,
let me
sir.
know if you want to watch some more. That's a very good pitch.
Yeah.
Not everybody speak up at once. That was a question for all of us. We all
Well,
have to return
I
to the
don't know. I
surface.
think it's well, cause for my mom, it's like a little different. She probably wouldn't even watch anything like this.
Mm-hmm. How would you
So
how would you sell it to her?
I can't sell nothing to this woman. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Hy-
That's hilarious.
I can't even sell a car that's probably worth $2 to this woman, bro. I'm telling you that right now. Okay.
Hypothetically speaking, somebody's
$2.
mom.
Okay. If I had to choose my
Someone's.
okay, one of my aunts, I would literally
Mm-hmm.
because my aunt is actually into she's actually into anime and everything, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I would honestly just watch the first episode with her, and then she'll
Okay.
probably just be like, "Damn, yeah."
Okay, fair.
She'll probably be like, okay. Like you gonna have to watch it. It's really good.
So
It's
you
like really
both
good.
are kind of feeling like if you can digest and want more after the first episode, that's like your selling point is like
Mm-hmm.
what
Definitely.
put this on.
Because my aunt, like my aunt would literally she'll watch almost anything
Mm.
anime related. She'll watch almost anything anime related.
Okay,
So
good.
it's yeah. So I mean, she watched One Piece, so I mean, hey,
Oh,
there's
Okay, that's a
that.
commitment.
yeah.
Yeah, it takes a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
grit. Good lord.
Mm-hmm. That's
Clown.
dedication. Okay, I think I would take a different strategy here.
Mm.
I would make her watch the last couple minutes of the fight with Nolan and Mark,
Mm.
so I should spend the whole episode wondering why it was justified.
Yep. Okay. Yep. And
Yeah.
her
Listen,
deductive reasoning skills would trigger the deep dive.
yeah,
Dio,
Yep.
you're wondering how I got here. Well, we have to go back.
Yep. Okay. I like that. Juan,
It's
round us
tough
off.
because my parents are from like they're boomers, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
she, how can I spin this to sound like a telenovela? Is basically how I would have to figure this out.
Listen, Mark, listen.
I mean, it's not that difficult considering all that's going on.
Yeah,
Give him a
yeah,
couple of scenes with
Many
Debbie and
characters.
Nolan.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Like I might give her like like a couple scenes with Debbie in it, and I think that would probably be the key.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Called him a pet.
Mm. She
That's
would
drama enough for
definitely
anybody.
that's how you would get her into it. Definitely.
Yeah.
The indignant like the
Your
the
mother,
indignant rage.
yeah, she's more like a pet. What did he say?
He
Mm.
stopped. Everything stopped. He
Yep.
said, "What?"
And
Now, Mark.
I think for me, my mom she is pretty receptive to my interests, but she's not very big on violence at all. So
Mm-hmm.
what I would probably do is focus on one of Mark's college episodes where he does like some superheroing, but I think she would appeal more to like the human trying to be a superhero more than a superhero trying to live a human life.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I would even tell her it was a show about superheroes. I would curate like an episode halfway through where Mark's talking with Amber or Will or something like that where she could learn to like Mark because I'm a good son. I think she would like Mark. So I would try and get her to see like good boy Mark and then be like, I do want to let you know because I have to talk her through everything. She asked so many questions, my mom. Like 12 seconds into any clip, she's like, and so what is going on here? And I don't really follow that. So she's very like inquisitive. So I think having like a less action based scene and a more dialogue based scene will help her see why Mark fights, and then she'd be okay watching Mark fight.
You know what? I just thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Another good intro might be the Titan storyline.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think I
that's
mean
a very good
especially
one.
for like, like growing up in like the city, you know the plot line, right? Like it's relatively easy to follow, but it's adding enough of like the superhero elements to where like it could pique your interest if that was something that you hadn't seen before.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. Cause I don't know. Everybody know about their baby girl, even if they ain't got no daughter. That's your baby girl. You gonna do what you gotta
Mm.
do. So I think that's a really good way to round everything out. I really want to thank you guys for coming out. This is a special episode of the Due to the Deep that'll be premiering on my birthday, which will be April 12th. I have changed a lot since our last episode, and I'm grateful to have you fellas here with me to discuss something that's been really helping me in this transitionary period. So we're back on the surface. Everybody take a deep breath. We talked a lot. Uh, my name's D Tencho1. You can find me everywhere at the same handle at DTENCHO1. Fellas, if you want to leave your socials or anything that you're currently working on, anything that you'd like to maybe spotlight in your life, if you're going to have any special people watching this, now would be the time to give little shout outs. But I just really want to appreciate you all for being here and give you guys the floor to close us out.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me. This was a blast. As far as plugging anything, I would just like to plug like my YouTube channel. You can follow me on TikTok. YouTube went at Went Flint, WYNTFLYNT. You can also follow my podcast. I co-host a movie podcast with my co-host Richie, and it's called High and Mighty Crew Podcast. You can follow us on all audio platforms.
Nice. And that's HAM, High and Mighty Crew.
Yes, sir.
I want to play that like cricket sound.
I am so sick of you all
That's how I be doing, bro.
because
I'm getting
every
exhausted. I feel
time
everybody
you're
mute.
you're so polite when it's time for you to take turns, but when it's time for one person to be talking, everyone's like, excuse me, sorry.
Oh, let me jump in real quick. Let's jump in real quick. Okay.
That reminds me of it. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. As far
And
as social media, it's also amazing. You can find me everywhere. Okay, not everywhere. Hopefully not everywhere.
what the fuck? You can find
It's
me everywhere.
Hey,
crazy.
what?
If you look for me everywhere and say that name, you will find me.
Head into
hopefully not
your local
everywhere.
Starbucks, ask for Soul Mazer. They got you. He'll be right there.
Be right there
Say
drinking
Soul Mazer three
drinking a
times.
refreshy, strawberry refreshy. Early drink with Starbucks, even though I don't drink Starbucks that much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Give us a spell check on the Soul Mazer.
Soul Mazer Maser. That's it.
Got it.
I'm a troglodyte that doesn't actually use technology, and so
Good
I had a
mind.
real nice time. It was a pleasure talking to all you gentlemen and geeking out.
Yes.
Um, yeah.
Thank you for that.
Awesome.
I mean, thanks for having me, Ten. I appreciate it. Not involved with social media, but if we're plugging things that aren't necessarily our own, musically, please check out Epic the Musical by Jorge Valdez.
Yes.
Phenomenal. And
Yeah.
ten, you introduced this to me like I want to say like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I had it, and I slowly digested it, and I got into the fandom, got into the animatic, and just got super into it. Freaking phenomenal. Highly recommend. Um,
Oh, I'm bricked up right now.
Is
All
that
right,
the
bro.
Thank
musical
you.
thing you was
Thank
telling me
you for.
about
yeah,
before?
Yes, it is.
it is very good. It's very good.
Well, I might be in that mood because I'm about to watch Wicked probably later tonight.
There you go. There you go.
Yes.
For
Oh, my endorphins.
for books, please check out Brandon
They're
Sanderson.
rising.
Check out what was the book?
Red Rising is excellent. That's also you know what? Yeah, check out Red Rising. Phenomenal book series. I think there's 6 books out for that right now. Right, isn't it over at 6? But if you want something that's also fantasy, I recommend checking out Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive. Very good.
Mm.
For comics, the Absolute Run series that's going on right now is very good
Those-
for Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman, and of course Absolute Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal comics. Check them out. They are
Have
amazing.
have you
Please.
read Martian Manhunter yet?
I haven't had read this. Hers is pretty trippy. I'm
Okay.
looking forward
Uh,
to reading it. But
yeah,
yeah,
I have to get to all of them, but yeah.
might dip into what's it called the Puttis a bit before I get into that one. That one's a little trippy. We'll see. I might go on a little
Mm.
trip for that one.
Yeah,
But
Mm.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Let's see. What else do I recommend? What else do I recommend? Let's see. Book, comic, TV show. TV show. Resident Alien with Alan Tudyk. Phenomenal. Fun.
Yeah.
Also based on a comic, live action. It's a great comedy. Highly recommend. And
Resident Alien. Okay.
yeah. You know, I'm on mini games. If you see a Candid Clown, be kind to him. Be kind to the clowns. And that's it for me.
All right, guys. I want to thank you all for being here. We really appreciate you taking this deep dive with us. And welcome back to the surface. Make sure you take a deep breath, take a long look, and take time for yourself and for others. Peace.